Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pippins Baseball on the Road, 4th of July edition, America's 250th birthday. And why not celebrate in one of the most American ways possible by gathering a chair, cuddling around whatever fireworks show you've got ready to go, have a beer, a hot dog, whatever your beverage or snack of choice will be, and join me, your voice of the Pippins Harmon Johnsen, for this second game of a 3-game series against the Bend Elks. Yakima Valley last night taking game one, 6-5, starting off the second half in good fashion, 1-0. The Pippins got up early in the second, 2-0, and then the Elks responded by scoring 4 straight runs. They would only get one more, and it was a ninth-inning solo home run and a 2-run contest by Jace Miller. Hit a long ball out to right field to make it a 1-run game. John Witt gave up a hit, but then got back-to-back outs and earned the save, his WCL-leading 6th of the season. So you turn to tonight, Yakima Valley 1-0 in the second half and 13-15 overall on the season, trying to get back within a game of 500. The Bend Elks finishing their first half of the season tonight. This is game number 27. They've had a couple of games rained out, and they are now trying to work towards getting this game underway. There's fireworks expected up on the buttes here in Bend later tonight. Hopefully the teams are done playing, so as we head to the bus, we can enjoy some of the festivities tonight, Sandlot style. There's only one night of the year that it gets lit up enough. You can play ball at night. Not a great direct quote. Haven't seen the Sandlot in forever, but you all know what I'm referencing. Saturday in the park here at Vince Genna Stadium. The stadium built way back in the 60s, and actually the ball was played here way before then, back in the 30s. But the current iteration of the stadium, which is 330 down the lines and 390 to dead center with a turf infield and a grass outfield, going to be the site of this 4th of July contest between Yakima Valley and Bend. Around the rest of the West Coast League today, a lot of 4th of July action, including a couple of games that are already over. In noon action today, Portland was visiting the Marion Berries, and the Pickles took down the hosts in Salem 6-3. The next game on the docket was a 2:50 start time in Port Angeles. The game just wrapped up. The Lefties defeat the Kamloops Northpaws 12-5. So let's do quick math here. 5 Canadian teams, so 2 American teams have already won. There's only one American team in Canada tonight, and unfortunately it's Bellingham at Nanaimo. So the Bells not going to be able to celebrate the 4th of July in the States, but certainly going to have some warm reception over there on Vancouver Island. The rest of the schedule, Ridgefield at Walla Walla tonight. That game got underway just a few moments ago. It's the top of the second inning. The Sweets lead at 1-0 over the Ridgefield Raptors. Corvallis is hosting Springfield tonight. That game about to get underway at 6:35. Victoria at Kelowna tonight. That game about to get underway. And Edmonton at Wenatchee. Second time the Riverhawks will have been to Joe Martin Stadium this summer. Plate meeting taking place between Alan Cox, Kyle Crestangel, and our 2 umpires. And the conversation decently animated after some tensions and some excitement last night in the late innings. Francisco Lopez received a warning as he was walking off the field for a little bit of some chatter back towards the Bend dugout. There was some constant chatter back and forth, and hoping that nothing happens tonight other than the fireworks of offense and big explosions in the air. Still got one more game to go in this series. Coach Crustangel and Coach Cox exchanging lineups with our umpiring crew, Jacob Fisher and Clayton Kellogg. Before we break for the national anthem, let's meet the starting lineups for both of these squads. First for the host team, the Bend Elks, who come into this game at 11-15. It's a different lineup today for Alan Cox, but a couple of guys remain the same. Leading off and playing center field today is Keaton Nadeau. Batting second is the first baseman, number 13, Jace Miller. Batting third is the right fielder, number 1, Wayne Gurney. Rowan O'Connor gets a start in the cleanup spot. He plays shortstop wearing number 38. Batting fifth is the second baseman, number 26, Isaiah Fudge. Batting sixth is the designated hitter, a catcher from Utah named Hayden Smith. He wears number 12. Batting seventh is the catcher, Nate Snakenborg. He wears number 44. Playing the hot corner tonight and batting eighth is number 9, Vinny Salvioni. And rounding out the lineup for Bend is Eli Pupo. He will play left field and wear number 2. So again for Bend, Nato, Miller, Gurney, O'Connor, Fudge, Smith, Snakenborg, Salvioni, Pupo. Head coach is Alan Cox. And the starting pitcher tonight is Ryan McDougall for the Bend Elks. Yakima Valley sending out a very similar lineup to last night. Tyson Miller leads it off. He plays left field. He wears number 3. Batting second is the shortstop, number 26, Daichi Furuhata. Batting third is Nick Velasquez, the second baseman. He will wear number 17. Batting cleanup is the designated hitter, number 25, Parker Burt. Congratulations to Parker, committing to Ball State about an hour and a half ago before the game begins here tonight. So Parker going from JUCO to Division II and now going to play Division I ball for his senior year. Jay O'Neill will bat fifth. He will play center field tonight and wear number 7. Batting sixth, Luis Garcia. He plays right field. He'll wear number 15. Batting seventh is the first baseman, number 13, Levi Sotomayor. Batting eighth is the catcher, number 5, Abel Ramos. And batting ninth, rounding it out for Yakima Valley, is Derek Almeida. He'll play third base today, and he will wear number 16. So again for the Pippins, Miller, Furuhata, Velasquez, Burt, O'Neill, Garcia, Sotomayor, Ramos, and Almeida. Head coach is Kyle Crustangel. And on the mound tonight for the Pippins will be Jake Cumming, making his 5th start in the league season for Yakima Valley. Mound plate meeting, still continuing as these two coaches appear to be having just a little bit of a lay of the land on what can and can't be said, what can and can't be done. There appeared to be some laughing. There appeared to be just some conversation here between Jacob Fisher, Clayton Kellogg, our 2 umpires, and Coach Kyle Crustangel for the Pippins, Coach Alan Cox for the Elks. 2 veteran coaches in the West Coast League. Krusty in his 5th year. I believe Alan Cox is in his 3rd year in the WCL. Warm-ups continue to advance on as our starting pitchers are both in the bullpens, getting ready to get this game underway. Very, very long conversation being had at home plate tonight. The crowd tonight, not quite as full as last night. Some folks spending the 4th of July at their own homes or with their family, but it's a big crowd here again tonight. Last night's official attendance was 2,863. The stadium, they claim, can hold 3,500, but I didn't see very many spots where more folks could be in the ballpark last night. So either the official capacity is listed wrong, or there's just a couple of spots that were hiding that I couldn't see. Either way, it's expected to be a very nice, very big, very loud crowd again tonight for the Elks. And the Pippins are going to have to come in and break their hearts again, just like the Elks did up at Yakima County Stadium a couple of weeks ago. Coach Crustangel has departed back for his dugout. Alan Cox still having a few words for Jacob Fisher and Clayton Kellogg, just a few steps to the first base side of home plate. As the Elks wait to be announced, their starting lineups. Weather conditions here in Bend this afternoon. It was a beautiful day to go float the Deschutes River if you were in town. The wind is remaining steady at around 10 miles an hour coming in from the northwest. Temperatures today right now at 88 degrees, so it is fairly warm and it is fairly comfortable still thanks to that slight breeze. There was one game we were here last year that it was not windy at all, and the heat just kind of sat over the ballpark. And I was down on the field for BP during when the Pippins got here, and standing down on that turf, it is extremely warm compared to if you were standing out in the outfield grass. I don't know if it's because the infield dirt color that they chose for the turf is a darker shade of brown and the grass is a darker shade of green. I don't know if it's just the way the turf is strung out and laid and the way that the sun, which will be setting in our eyes as we sit here in the press box as this game goes along. I don't know if the sun beats down on it in a very particular way either. So we'll see what happens tonight. Turf plays very bouncy. I was down on the field helping shag some of the balls, and it's a little bit unpredictable sometimes. Makes me understand a little more why there were 8 errors between the two teams last night, 5 of them for Yakima Valley in the win, 3 of them for the Elks in the loss. The Bend Elks being announced here on the field as the starting lineups get underway. Pippin's going to be wearing their green uniforms again tonight. We'll get into all those details after the national anthem. Down on the field appears to be a local band, a drum, a tuba, a clarinet, and a trumpet, and a man getting ready to sing wearing a all pink suit, white shoes, and definitely a very, very bright shade of pink for the man about to sing our nation's anthem. America's semi-quincentennial, its 250th birthday. What better place to spend than listening to some baseball here in the West Coast League? We're going to step aside for a moment for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll have first pitch on this 4th of July game. Don't go anywhere. Elks and Pippins, game 2 on America's birthday. Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium as we prepare for Game 2 between the Bend Elks and the Yakima Valley Pippins here on your July 4th in 2026, Independence Day, here in Bend, Oregon. If you don't know where we're in Central Oregon in the high desert on the east side of the Cascade Mountains. Overlooking the ballpark here in Bend are the Three Sisters Mountains. And on the hill will be Ryan McDougall for the Bend Elks. McDougall, another one of these starters for the Elks that has a higher ERA, but he's been able to get the job done for Bend. 0-2 with 4 games, 3 of them starts, 13 innings, 17 strikeouts to 14 walks, 15 hits, and 15 earned runs. His last appearance was against the Kelowna Falcons, though. He did suffer the loss, but he only gave up 3 runs on 4 hits and 5 2/3 innings. And so McDougall is going to give up his fair share of hits and runs. It's going to be up to the Pippins offense of Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, and Nick Velasquez to set the table for Yakima Valley. So it's McDougall on the mound, and then the defense behind him looks like this. Pupo in left, Nato in center field, Gurney in right, Salvione at third, O'Connor at shortstop, Fudge at second, Miller at first, Snakenborg doing the catching for Ryan McDougall. The Bend Elks wearing home white uniforms. These ones do not have pinstripes. It is the brown and gold accents as well, and a white cap with a white brim, it appears. Very clean look. Pippin's going with the same uniform combination that they wore yesterday. Blue lids, green tops, gray pants, white numerals, and white Pippins and block across the chest. Tyson Miller digs in against McDougall. And baseball on the 4th of July is underway as the first pitch is upstairs at 6:36 p.m. here in Bend, Oregon. Game time temperature here in Bend at Vince Genna Stadium, 88 degrees. 1-0 pitch out of the full windup for McDougal, misses downstairs, ball 2. 88 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. A perfect day to float the Deschutes River. If you haven't been down here, that is one of the main things you see people doing in Bend, Oregon. 2-0 pitch from McDougal, and the pitch misses downstairs. 3 balls and no strikes. Tyson last night for the Pippins going 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored. He had a single in the 7th inning. Might not even see a strike in this first at bat. 3-0 pitch from McDougal. Tyson taking a strike at the knees. 3-1. The wind blowing in from the northwest. And with this press box looking that direction, you might hear some wind noise on the crowd mic today. 3-1 pitch from McDougal. There's a strike at the bottom of the zone. 3-2. Radar gun out in right field said 92, but I know last year I was told that radar gun on the scoreboard is a few miles an hour fast. McDougal winds. Payoff pitch to Tyson. Chops it on the ground out towards second. Fudge waits for it to come down. The throw to first is in time. So from 3-0, 3 pitches later, it's a 4-3 putout. Tyson Miller out number 1. So Daichi Furuhata will bat second here. Daichi hot on the trails of potentially locking down a spot at a D1. I know he's been in talks with some folks. So hopefully Daichi moving up from Swat Community College. Well, saying that's kind of counterintuitive. First pitch from McDougal misses high and away, ball 1. The CC in Swat means community college, Southwest Oregon Community College, in fact. But hopefully moving from the JUCO ranks up to a little bit higher soon for Daichi. 1-0, sent straight back into the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike. Furuhata from Nagano, Japan on the season for Yakima Valley, including 1 non-league appearance, a .333 batting average. Getting on base at a .402 clip. 1-1 pitch out of the windup. Fastball upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Daichi in his second season in the WCL, although his first season was only a 5-game stretch with the Springfield Drifters where he hit 125. 2-1. Daichi floats it over the right side, and this is down for a hit over the head of Miller, the first baseman. All the way to the pole. Daichi's going to turn around first and stop at second with a stand-up double. 1 on, 1 out for Yakima Valley. My apologies to our listening audience. Again, the turf is so bright. There's a vibrant white glow that kind of comes off this dark green turf. And if you're not paying attention as closely as you should, like I was there, it's very hard to pick up the ball when it's in the air. I heard some of the players, especially over at first base, complaining about the sun for the majority of this game. And it can be tough. I wouldn't want to be over on the right side trying to catch something coming from the left. Nick Velasquez, the first pitch from the stretch for McDougal. Upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Some exciting news for Nick as well that I didn't mention in the starting lineup. He has committed to USC, University of Southern California, in the Big Ten Conference. Not for the next spring, but for the spring after. 1-0. Nick taking a fastball high and tight. 2 balls and no strikes. And so Velasquez, in a similar move to like Gage Reeser last year, committing to a Division I school, but going back to his JUCO for his second season. I believe the plan for Nick is to go to Citrus College for the 2027 season and then get ready to join the Trojans for 2028. Set at the belt is McDougal. He takes a peek back to second. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It bounces in. The count 3-0. Second time a Pippin has been ahead 3-0. Tyson Miller grounded out after McDougal worked himself all the way back. So Velasquez, the second baseman, batting .324, including a big non-league game. 3-0, taking all the way, and there's a free strike one right at the top of the zone. Nick has 4 home runs in league play, 6 home runs overall. Certainly on the short list of Pippins that could see himself as an all-star in Victoria in about a week and a half. 3-1 pitch out of the stretch from McDougal. Nick drives it out to center field, deepest part of the park. Nato going back. He's a step in front of the track. He will make the catch. Daichi tags at second. The throw is going to come all the way through, and it pulls Salvioni off the bag. Daichi moves up on the fly out to center field by Velasquez. Productive out, but there are 2 away. Hard hit off the bat. With the wind blowing in, going to be tough to push anything out to center field. So even though Nick gave it a ride, it results in an out, and now Parker Burt will hit with a man at third and 2 away. Parker had an off night last night, going 0 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts. Sees the first pitch changeup upstairs, 1-0. But even so, Parker picked up an RBI, which gives him now 18 on the season. Had a ground out that pushed a run across. 1-0. Parker shoots one over towards the neighborhood, and this will land over on the roof of one of these houses. We're about, I don't know, a couple 100 feet from residential neighborhood here in Bend, situated on the corner of 5th and Roosevelt here in Bend, Oregon. 1-1, misses upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. McDougal electing to pitch from the stretch with Daichi over at third. Seems to be getting more success in the strike zone from the stretch. 2-1 pitch. Fastball above the letters. 3 balls and a strike. So another 3-ball count that a Pippin has worked to. We'll see if Parker can draw the walk or if he'll have some sort of green light here, 3-1. McDougal fires it in. It misses outside, ball 4. Hard fastball from McDougal. Runners are going to be at the corners, and there's 2 away. Jay O'Neill, the center fielder for Yakima Valley, bats next. O'Neill, another one of these Pippins that has found a new home over the course of the summer. Came from Georgia Gwinnett. He will leave a Pippin as a UNLV Rebel. First pitch, Jay goes the opposite way out to the left center field gap. Pupo over to his left. He will squeeze. He will put it away. And the Pips leave 2 on the base paths. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. Fly out to end the inning, and we go to the bottom of the first. Pippins 0, Elks coming up here on 4th of July in Bend, Oregon.
Personal. Very, very personal. Ready? All right. Walk off in front for game Cat. Sunflower seed or gun or dugout. Early morning workout or late night lifting sesh. Pet kangaroo or pet penguin. Pet kangaroo. Reach only of crazy games. Play every game or be guaranteed all conference selection. Winning every game. She good? Wild Slugfest. Cool. All right. Would you rather fight 1 gorilla or 50 raccoons? Nice. All right. I'll go a little more intense. Would you rather accidentally call your coach mom or...
Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium. On the mound for Yakima Valley is Jake Cumming, the senior from Coppin State, a native of Fernley, Nevada. 1-3 record on the season for Yakima Valley. 5 games pitched, 4 starts. That last game he pitched was the non-league contest against Northwest Star on the 30th. He got an inning of work in. just trying to stay loose for this start. 22 strikeouts to 15 walks for Jake. 12 hits, 9 earned runs, a 4.50 ERA. He'll be throwing very hard out on the hill. Fastball was reaching the upper, or I should say the mid 90s, as he was averaging 92 to 93 in his last start, which came against the Wenatchee Apple Sox. He went 4 innings, giving up 1 run on 2 hits and an eventual Pippins loss. He'll face Keaton Nato, Jace Miller, and Win Gurney first. Defense behind coming is Miller, O'Neill, Garcia left to right in the outfield. Almeida, Furahada, Velasquez, Sotomayor left to right on the infield, and Abel Ramos doing the catching for coming. First pitch misses down and away, ball 1. Went with a fastball. Keaton Nato, one of the few Bend Elks that's back in the lineup tonight after last night. Out of the windup, the 1-0. Hard fastball, hard at the plate, 1-1. Nato batted in the 6th hole last night, going 2 for 5 with a couple of singles and an RBI. He had a hit in the 9th inning, but was left stranded. 1-1, breaking ball, swing and a miss by Nato. Count moves to 1-2. And so Alan Cox moving Nato to the leadoff spot, hoping to get that same production as many times as possible. Cummings shakes off Ramos, nods his approval, goes out of the full windup in the middle of the rubber, and the 1-2 pitch is a changeup just downstairs, 2-2. Nato from CSU San Bernardino, 255 batting average on the season, including the non-league contests for the Bend Elks. The 2-2 from Jake, fastball just a touch off. So the count runs full. His counterpart, Ryan McDougall, threw 21 pitches in the first inning, leaving 2 Pippins stranded. Jake shakes off. Here comes the payoff pitch. Half swing on a breaking ball. Did he go? Yes, he did. Clayton Kellogg rings up Keaton Nato. Strikeout number 1 of the night for Jake Cummings. Good tight breaking ball from Jake. Started at the middle of the zone and dropped down and away. So that'll bring up Jace Miller. Miller, the first baseman. Native of Medford, Oregon. 3rd season with the Bend Elks. First pitch breaking ball drops in for a strike. 0-1. Last night, Miller hitting in the 5 hole. He had a double and a home run and 2 runs scored. That home run made it a 1-run game in the 9th inning. Got things very dramatic. 0-1 pitch downstairs. The count evens up a ball and a strike. So Miller definitely has some pop. He went opposite field as a right-handed batter out to the scoreboard where the ball ricocheted off of the outs number. A couple of LEDs appear to be dim out there now as a fastball catches the inner black to make the count 1-2. Out of the windup. 1-2. This is a check swing foul off of the cap of the bat. Something that I just heard from across the press box. Win Gurney, who started in right field today, not in the on-deck circle. 1-2. Just a touch downstairs with a fastball from Jake. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Instead, this is Isaac Pfeiffer, a utility player from the University of Portland. So Gurney looks like he's done for the day, as here's a rollover ground ball foul past Almeida at 3rd. 2 balls and 2 strikes still. I didn't notice anything in the field for Gurney. The double that Daichi hit was to right field. So it looks like Bend already having to dig into their bench tonight on the 4th of July. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball down below the knees. The count runs full again. Abel was ready to throw it around the horn. Outfield shifted for a push from the hitter Miller. That's understandable after he went to right field last night. Payout pitch from Jake. He yanked a fastball outside the zone, and it's ball 4 to Miller. And so here comes Pfeiffer. That is an interesting development. Hopefully Wayne Gurney's okay. He officially does not get to have an at-bat tonight. So we'll get the numbers here on Isaac Pfeiffer as our home plate umpire Jacob Fisher jots down the substitution. Again, I didn't notice much on the play out to right field, but obviously dealing with something here. First pitch from Jake is a fastball that skips in front of the left-hand batter's box and takes a big hop off the bricks. Ramos down to the Bend dugout. He's going to throw to third, and by the time the ball gets there, standing on third is Jace Miller. That's a two-base wild pitch as the bricks just completely had that ricochet over towards the first base dugout. So Miller in scoring position and then some, standing at third. The infield going to be forced to play in here with one out for Yakima Valley. The ball obviously did not catch the tarp that's back there on the backstop bricks as the breaking ball from Jake misses outside 2-0. There's a small sponsor banner back there, and that deadens the ball sometimes, but if it catches the bricks proper, you don't know where that ball's going to go. 2-0, here's a ground ball through the right side, and a single brings home a run. Pfeiffer comes off the bench after Wayne Gurney got the start and exited the game. Picks up an RBI single to make it 1-0 Bend. That'll bring up Rowan O'Connor. O'Connor playing in his second game for the Elks. That's a tough way to start if you're Jake Cumming. Give up the walk and then the wild pitch. Nothing Ramos could do except track that thing down as best he could. And now Jake starts off O'Connor with a breaking ball. 1-0 below the zone. Rowan O'Connor from Georgetown, where he will be a sophomore. Went 1 for 3 in his only game against Walla Walla on the 30th. Jake misses just a touch downstairs with the fastball now. 2 balls and no strikes. For Cumming, you don't want this to snowball. He does have a relatively high walk number, but also a relatively high strikeout number. The runs will come. Runner takes off at first. The ball gets away from Ramos. This time it bounces right back to him. That'll be a stolen base for Pfeiffer because he was running with the pitch. But a couple of balls that have gotten away from Ramos up there at the dish. Gotta wonder what's going through Cummings' head right now. Ramos had some playing time taken away from him just because of some lack of defense. And so we'll see how this develops for Yakima Valley, trying to get Ramos' bat in there and give him a chance. But Salsa, Jake, and Abel having a quick discussion to try to get on the same page. Jake got a quick out. It was a 6-pitch strikeout to Keaton Nato. Gave up a walk to Jace Miller, and now a single and a stolen base for Pfeiffer. Another man in scoring position here for the Bend Elks, leading by 1. Very early in this ball game on the 4th of July. 3-0 pitch, and it missed downstairs, ball 4. Runners are going to be at first and second. That'll bring up Isaiah Fudge, the second baseman. Fudge from Tampa University. Double play is in order for Yakima Valley here on this turf infield. 1 out, 1 run in on 1 hit and a wild pitch. First run from Jake, misses high and away, ball 1. Doesn't look like Cumming quite has the strike zone dialed in right now. Left-handed stick, Isaiah Fudge. On the season batting .188 for Bend in his 9 games. 1-0. That's a fastball top of the zone, called a strike by Jacob Fisher. You go through the outings for Cumming so far this summer. His first one was 5 down in Springfield. Second one was 5 down in Richfield. And then a 3-inning outing and a 4-inning outing in starts. As a 1-1 is taken right back where it comes from and down into center field for a hit. O'Neill gets there quickly, so the stop sign will be thrown up at third. The bases are loaded for the Bend Elks, and there's only 1 out on a single by Isaiah Fudge. So that sets the table here for Hayden Smith. Smith from Utah University. Got Pfeiffer at third, O'Connor at second, Fudge at first. Good news for Yakima Valley, there's still 8 innings to play. Bad news, there's only 1 out in the inning. Corners are going to play in. Cumming going to go from the windup here, as his first pitch is sent foul over our heads here in the press box and behind the tree and into the parking lot. No balls and a strike here to Hayden Smith. Not much I know about Smith here. Just recently joining the Bend Elks. Alan Cox trying to bolster his bats for the second half as the 0-1 is on the ground over to third. Almeida going to step on the bag for 1. Long throw across the diamond, and Levi stretches to make the play. A double play turned by Yakima Valley means only 1 run will come across on 2 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 men left on base. We go to the second inning, 1-0 Bend here at Vince Genna Stadium.
All right. We're going to get all right. All right. We're going to get the next see if I'm not feeling for higher. Bring it back. Seven, 8, 9. You got to appreciate your own life. You say, people are not thinking not much that I've never been in.
Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium. Top of the second inning as Luis Garcia, Levi Sotomayor, and Abel Ramos will be due up here for the Pippins. Yakima Valley left 2 stranded in the first inning on only 1 hit against Ryan McDougall, who will be working in his second inning on this 4th start. Luis Garcia leading it off from Western Oklahoma State. First pitch is a breaking ball that caught the outer black, 0-1. Garcia batting .258 on the season. 26 games for Yakima Valley. Does have 1 home run. As the 0-1 misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. All the stats for Luis eligible for the league except for a 2-for-5 night with 2 runs scored against Northwest Star. 1-1, fastball outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. And Luis has been playing a good brand of right field so far this season. Been reliable defenders. The 2-1 pitch is a breaking ball down and away. 3 balls and a strike. For how many 3-ball counts that Ryan McDougall has had so far, I believe 3 of the 5 batters he's faced, only has walked 1. Pippins have been swinging somewhat freely with 3 balls in the count. 3-1, Luis swings and fouls this one back to the netting to run the count full. So somewhat helping out the starting pitcher, somewhat Luis got a pitch to hit at the bottom of the zone. Count is full here from McDougall to Garcia out of the windup. The pitch on the way home, a breaking ball left upstairs. And Luis will be the second walk that will be drawn against Ryan McDougall. Leadoff man aboard, tying run on the base paths. Very important that Yakima Valley got that 24th double play of the year, because that means only 1 run came home to score. That could have gotten way out of hand for Cumming. So now here's Levi Sotomayor from the University of the Pacific. First pitch is a fastball inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Levi, including his non-league contests, batting .436 on the season. 1 home run. It was an inside the Parker. 17 total hits. 1-0. Sotomayor chops it on the ground out to second. Fudge just going to have 1 play. It's to first. Garcia advances on to second on the 4-3. So that brings up Abel Ramos. Ramos, the Venezuelan, playing for the first time since the Portland Gherkins game on the 2nd, so got a day off yesterday. He's got his Western Oklahoma State teammate out at second base trying to tie this game. Out of the stretch, McDougall sends the first pitch. It's a breaking ball, inner black, strike 1. Ramos on the season batting .265. That includes those couple of non-league games. Waves the black bat behind his head, now pauses as the 0-1 pitch is a fastball stuck on the outer black this time. 0-2. This is the first time tonight that McDougall has been ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Looking for his first strikeout tonight. Ramos trying to avoid that. A check to second with the eyes. Now the 0-2 pitch is sharply on the ground out to short. O'Connor up with it. And the shortstop makes the play for out number 2. Wrong side of the infield if you're Abel Ramos. Maybe something over on the left side would have advanced Garcia to third, but now there's 2 outs. Still in scoring position, but Derek Almeida going to need a base hit to bring home the Pippins right fielder. First pitch, a strike right over the heart of the plate to Almeida. Derek committed to play at Fresno State from Citrus College, batting .319 on the season for Yakima Valley. 0-1, breaking ball down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. 23 hits, 3 doubles, and a home run for Derek Almeida. Scored 12 times, has driven in 9. Number 10 waiting out at second base, Luis Garcia. 1-0 game, Bend getting 1 run in the bottom of the first. Pippins down to 2 outs here in the top of the second. The 1-1, breaking ball misses high and away, 2 balls and a strike. If you can get on and potentially tie this game, if you're Almeida, you've got Tyson Miller, the top of the order, due up next. McDougall looks to second, now fires in the 2-1 pitch. It's below the knees, 3-1. Derek on the season has drawn 7 walks. Played in one of the non-league contests, going 3 for 6 against Northwest Star. Was in the lineup yesterday as well. 3-1, Almeida free swinging and shoots it out of play, foul over on the right side onto the road. Bounces from the road up a driveway, and now somebody has a baseball present out their front door. Count runs full. Man at second is Luis Garcia. Base hit would tie the game. McDougal comes set at the belt. Takes a look to second. The payoff pitch. High, ball 4. Third walk of the night for Ryan McDougal. And the Pippins top of the order comes up to hit for the second time in as many innings. Quick visit out to the hill for the Bend Elks. You wonder how long the leash is for McDougal. Just by looking at his previous numbers on his 4 starts so far this year. Pitched against the Springfield Drifters, went 2 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, and did not record an out. That was his first appearance in the West Coast League. Then against the Marion Berries, went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits and 5 runs, all of them earned, on 5 walks. Pitched against Corvallis, went 3 1/3 with 5 hits and 3 runs. Pitched against Kelowna back on the 20th of June and went 5 2/3. So very well rested, but a little bit wild as after the mound visit breaks up, the first pitch is high, ball 1. 4 walks in that appearance against the Falcons, but granted only 5 2/3. That was his longest outing. Pip's trying to tag him for a tying or a go-ahead run. 0-1 to Miller, in near the hands, 2 balls and no strikes. Got to be touching close to 90 if you're McDougal. Seems to be a little bit similar style of pitching to Jake Cumming for the Pippins. High velocity, but you get high risk, high reward with that, with strikeouts and walks. So far tonight, no strikeouts for McDougal. 2-0 pitch on the way in. It's upstairs, and the count runs to 3-0. Tyson saw a 3-0 count back in the first inning and ended up grounding out to second base. See if Tyson can change that result here in the second inning. McDougal sends home the 3-0. It misses low, ball 4. Make it now 4 walks on the game, 3 walks in the inning for Ryan McDougal. And Luis Garcia moving up to third. Derek Almeida moving up to second. Daichi Furuhata with a chance to give the Pippins a big swing of the pendulum back in their favor. McDougal, 42 pitches. 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Goes out of the full windup with the bases loaded. Daichi watching the first pitch he sees, a fastball pulled outside, 1-0. Furuhata had a double back in the first inning. That'd be a pretty good result here. Might clear the bases. 1-0. Daichi skies it out to right. This is the new right fielder Pfeiffer drifting towards the line in foul territory. He makes the catch. He caught it while it was fair, and the Pippins leave the bases loaded. No runs on no hits. No errors. 3 runners left on the base pads. We go to the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Bend here at Vince Genna Stadium. Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium. The Bend Elks will send up 7, 8, and 9 in their batting order. Nate Snakenborg, Vinny Salvioni, and Eli Pupo. Jake coming out for his second inning of work. During the half-inning break, I was paying a lot of attention to a conversation being had with Jacob Fisher and Clayton Kellogg, the two umpires standing up the first base line. And now Coach Crustangel has not yet departed the field. He waited until the discussion got over between Fisher and Kellogg to ask a question. I haven't noticed any words being said. I haven't noticed any extracurriculars. But Jake Cumming finished his warm-ups, and now the umpires are over by the Pippins on deck circle up the third base line having a chat about something. There were a few words exchanged last night, but nothing too serious. Pippins defense standing patiently, waiting for the second inning to start. Yakima Valley trails 1-0 here in Bend. I am just confused onto what potentially the discussion could be. I'll have to ask Coach Crustangel when we get back on the bus, back to the hotel, what for sure he was having a chat about. But as it stands right now, there have been no warnings, no ejections, no real conversations that have been had between the two teams. Probably something more procedural that Coach Crustangel is discussing. Coach Panch is over in front of the Pippins third base dugout having a chat with John Kemp, the third base coach for the Bend Elks. Nate Snakenborg waits to get his first at-bat of the night as the crowd here is starting to become a little bit restless at Vince Genna Stadium. Home plate umpire tonight is Jacob Fisher. Field umpire tonight is Clayton Kellogg. Maybe Krusty just asking the umpires how long he has to stand here so that we can get this game to the darkness. And I believe they said the fireworks on the butte over to our north starts at 10 o'clock. So maybe he just wants to emulate the Sandlot and play underneath the fireworks. Conversation continues over in foul territory between home plate and third base between our umpiring crew of Jacob Fisher, Clayton Kellogg, and Pippins head coach Kyle Crustangel. Now the umpires depart, and Krusty heads back to the dugout. Doesn't appear to be too satisfied with whatever just went down. So now the bottom of the second inning will be allowed to begin as Jake Cumming sends the first pitch as a breaking ball up at the top of the zone, called a strike for an 0-1 count to Nate Snakenborg from Nevada, native of San Marcos, California. 0-1 misses down and away. A changeup from Cumming, 1-1. Snakenborg giving the catchers for this Bend Elks squad a little bit of a refresher as he waves and misses to make the count 0-2. Only batting 125 in his 7 games for the Elks. Last night, the catcher was Marcus Galvin. So unfortunately, it looks like Snakenborg is the definite number 2 catcher. 1-2 pitch from Cumming, a fastball, foul tipped and caught by Abel Ramos. Second strikeout for Jake Cumming. He's led off both innings with a punch-out. I'll bring up Vinny Salvioni. Salvioni from Bowling Green as the first pitch misses just a touch in. It was a breaking ball from Cumming, 1-0. Salvioni batting .308 in 7 games with Bend. 1-0 pitch from Jake skips in, 2 balls, no strikes. I don't know what the discussion was, what the procedure was, but something confusing going on the ballpark as we resume play. 2-0 pitch. Jake misses inside with a fastball. The count runs to 3-0. Pippins no runs on 1 hit. Bend 1 run on 2 hits so far. There have been a combined 7 runners left on base between the two squads here in the bottom of the second. As Jake fires in strike 1 to stay in the at-bat. It was a fastball hard of the plate. Salvioni taking all the way. Snakenborg struck out. Cumming trying to battle back. 3-1 pitch. How about another fastball right over the plate? 3-2. So now with the full count, Salvioni going to have to battle here. Cumming nods his approval, takes a deep breath. Out of the windup, the payoff pitch, a breaking ball, a high chop, and this is over the head of John Kemp in foul territory over at third base. So we'll reset and do it again. Cumming ready. Hands at his chest. The wind, the pitch. 3-2. Shot on the ground. Fair past first base. Sotomayor couldn't get there. Garcia chases the ball into foul territory. Bobbles it. Well, this will likely be a tried and true double for Vinny Salvioni as this snuck away from Luis over in foul territory. That was fair by a couple of base widths, not by much. I'll bring up Eli Pupo, the left fielder from Bushnell. Second season with the Elks, although his first season was only 2 games long back in 2025. Coming out of the stretch, the first pitch showing bunt is Pupo, but he'll pull back and take strike 1 right at the knees. Pupo this season batting .239 for Bend. This is his 18th game. Look back to second, the 0-1. Breaking ball slips out of the hand of Cumming. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the order is on deck for the Elks. You'd love to see them with 2 outs instead of 1. Cumming set at the chest. 1-1 pitch, showing bunt again. Pupo, he pulls back and takes downstairs. The count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Cumming past the 40 pitch threshold. Jake trying to keep Salvioni close at second base, looking back there. Fires a fastball right on the outer black, 2-2. Looking for strikeout number 3 tonight. He's walked 2. Pippins infield plays for a slight pull. Outfield straight up. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, shot foul into the netting over on the left side. Bat boy occupying the Pippins dugout will chase it down. So it's still 2-2. Pitch to work with here. Here it comes. It's high and away. So the count runs full. Man at second is Vinny Salvioni. Jake trying to avoid issuing his 3rd walk of the evening. Long pause. Here's the payoff pitch. Called strike 3 right on the inner black. Pupo doesn't agree as he begrudgingly walks back to his first base dugout. So there are 2 away. And Keaton Nato, who was a strikeout victim to start the game, will be up for the 2nd time in as many innings. Nato playing center field. Again in the leadoff spot tonight after batting in the 6-hole last night. Jake going to step off and use a disengagement. And so Ramos going to quickly bring home plate umpire Jacob Fisher out to have a chat, trying to talk some pitch mix And so the Pippins will not be charged with a mound visit here. Pippins briefly experimented with the PitchCom system, but of course, the PitchCom can only do so much when you're still relaying signals out to your pitcher. Really, all the Pippins were using it for was to relay information to the catcher. First pitch breaking ball. There's a strike right on the outer black here to Keaton Nato. Pips do not have either the cap accessory or the wrist accessory that tells you the pitch and the location. So still using traditional hand signs. Another breaking ball. This is fouled away, and the count runs to 0-2. Nato struck out back in the first inning. That's 14 Ks on the season for him, including non-league action. Cumming brings home the 0-2 pitch. Left a fastball upstairs. Ramos points at him, says that's where I wanted it. Maybe trying to change the eye level here for Keaton Nato. Keaton spelled Keedan, Nato Nadeau. 1-2 from Jake. Breaking ball, top shelf. It is ball 2. That was a close pitch. Ramos thought he had it. I think Cumming did too. He was about a step off the hill before he was told to return back up there and throw another pitch. What do you do? 2-2. Runner takes off. Fastball high and away. Ramos bobbles the transfer, so it's a stolen base for Vinny Salvioni. The count runs full. No harm done yet. Still a 1-0 game. Just need one more strike here in the second inning. Cumming already ready. Payoff pitch. A fly ball out to shallow left. Drifting back, Daichi. The shortstop says he has it, and he does. And the side is retired. One man left on. It was no runs on one hit. No errors by the Pippins, and we go to the third inning, 1-0 Elks here at Vince Genna Stadium.
Got lost, Travis. I went to the here, like fun matting stuff. What? No sun.
Top of the third inning here at Vince Genna Stadium. Glad you're with us on your 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Happy birthday, America. 250 years strong. The semi-quincentennial as we bring out our dictionary and try to get some big words on the air here. It's Nick Velasquez leading it off for the Pippins as he sends the first pitch foul into the Bend Elks dugout over on the first base side, 0-1. Got ahead of a fastball from Ryan McDougal, who despite issuing 4 walks in this game, including 3 to load the bases in the second, has not given up a run. Time to change that. 0-1 pitch out of the windup. Nick takes down and in 1-1. Again, if you missed the pregame, Nick committing to USC. It's a big commitment for the kid from Citrus College. 1-1. Here's a rope over the head of the first baseman Miller, down into right field for a knock. Pfeiffer gets to it quickly and holds Nick to a single, but the Pippins have their second hit of the game, and the leadoff man is aboard for the second straight inning. That brings up Parker Burt, 0 for 6 or 0 for 5 rather in the series. Drew a walk back in the third. Back to the stretch goes McDougal, sends a changeup in, and Parker swings through it. 0-1. Burt definitely in launch mode in many of his at-bats. 4 home runs on the season. Watching a slow breaking ball develop over the heart of the plate for strike 2. Parker really likes to choose his pitches. And when he ambushes, he can run into one like a semi-truck. 0-2. Parker lays off an outside fastball. Really wanted to swing at it, but left it alone. Burt committing to Ball State today. Continuing his progression up the ranks. JUCO, then D2, and now D1. See if Burt can show off that D1 bat here. He bounces one hard on the ground out towards second. Fudge flips to O'Connor for one. The relay on to first is dug out in time for out number 2, a double play. Score at 4-6-3. And there's 2 away, and the base is clear here in the third. Brings up Jay O'Neill. Burt hit it hard, but right at Fudge, the second baseman. McDougal goes back to the windup as Jay swings on the first pitch he sees and sends it over on the left side. Salvioni, the third baseman, into foul territory, puts it away, and it's a 1-2-3 with an asterisk for Ryan McDougal here in the third. Bottom half of the inning is next, 1-0 Bend here in Central Oregon. Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium. Chase Miller, Isaac Pfeiffer, and Rowan O'Connor will be the 3 scheduled to hit here in the third against Jake Cumming. Miller walked and scored back in the first inning, the only run of the ball game to this point. Cumming begins the third inning at 50 pitches. Number 51 is a curveball down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Approaching the hour mark in this contest. We're only in the third inning. Fireworks on the Butte begin at 10 o'clock here in Bend as the fastball is pulled down for ball 2. Folks are going to be allowed on the field because there's a clearing in the trees that you can see the Butte where they're going to shoot the fireworks from. I kind of hope that we'll actually still be playing at that time, as here's a hard ground ball through the 5-6 hole for a single by Jace Miller. Been on twice, a walk and now a single. No chance for Furuhata or Almeida. Leadoff man aboard here in the third for the Elks. That brings up Isaac Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer singled and drove home Jace Miller back in the first inning. Miller was at first on the walk, but then advanced to third on a wild pitch because the ball bounced off the bricks. First pitch breaking ball. Ramos slides into the left-hand batter's box to make the grab, 1-0. 1 run on 4 hits right now for the Elks here in the bottom of the third inning. Pippins with 2 hits themselves, but no runs to show for it. 1-0, foul tipped and caught by Ramos. 1 ball and 1 strike. Just a touch smaller of a crowd today. Probably close to 2,000. Miller dancing at first. The 1-1 is a slow chop out towards Daichi at short. It's going to be Almeida, the third baseman, who comes in and cuts him off and makes the throw over there. Throw down to second is not in time. Miller almost leaned all the way off a second. So that's a 5-3. Jace Miller moves up to second. Good job by Almeida to hustle over and get the out. Daichi might not have had a play. Almeida had a more direct line coming from third to send the throw across accurately. First pitch breaking ball here to Rowan O'Connor. Misses down and away, ball 1. O'Connor walked back in the first inning, was the lead out in the Pippins' 24th double play of the season. Jake sends home the 1-0. It's downstairs. Another breaking ball, 2 balls and no strikes. You wonder with how many breaking balls that Jake is throwing, if he just doesn't quite have the feel for the fastball right now. Can reach up to 93 with the heater. Runner takes off for third. No one was holding him on. The throw down to third and able to keep his hand on the bag is Jace Miller. Ramos made it closer than I think Miller thought it was going to be, as he kind of popped up right away. So now the infield will play in for the Pippins. It's a 3-ball, no strike count to Rowan O'Connor. Jake set. The pitch. Fouled straight back. 3-1. On deck is Isaiah Fudge. He singled back in the first inning. Would love to see an out of some sort here on the infield, keeping the runner at third. 3-1. Downstairs, ball 4. Second time O'Connor has walked. That'll move the middle infield for the Pippins back. Trying to play for a double play. I'll bring up Isaiah Fudge. Ramos gives the infield the signals, telling them what's on. Fudge playing second base, helped turn that double play that ruined the Pippins' threat there in the third. Top half of this inning. We're in the bottom. Runners are at the corners for the Elks. First offering from Jake is skied foul over on the left side. Almeida giving chase in front of his dugout. He's going to run out of room as this becomes a souvenir. So 0-1. Double play is in order. Pippins have turned 1 tonight. Jake spins, throws to first. Not in time. O'Connor back with a dive. So the count's still 0-1. Sun starting to become a factor with everybody here at the ballpark as it slowly makes his way down toward the horizon. Runner takes off at first. The pitch is outside. Ramos pump fakes. He has the guy in a rundown. Throws down to third. Almeida back to the plate. Ramos throws the tag. He drops the ball. Moving up to third will be Rowan O'Connor. And Ramos ran into like a freight train, and he dropped the ball in the process. It almost looked like Jacob Fisher was also calling interference as well, as Ramos was standing right on the line. He's hunched over. Jacob Fisher standing out there with his hand on his shoulder as Ramos gives the ball back to him. Abel flips the sunglasses over to Coach Crustangel. Now the three-way discussion being had here is they're going to take the chest protector and try to tighten up the loose strap behind Ramos's back. Well, Abel dropped the ball, so unfortunately Miller will be safe at first. The run scoring looked almost like it was an interference type play, the way Jacob Fisher was pointing at the plate, but that might have been just a confusing signal that he had there. Miller broke for home when he knew that he was a dead duck, trying to go back to third. Moving up in the process is Rowan O'Connor. He now replaces Miller at third on the rundown that Miller got into. Had Abel made the play, it would have been a 2-5-2 caught stealing. The umpires having a discussion in front of the pitching mound now as Ramos very visibly shaken up after a big collision. They say safe at the plate. And so it's 2-0 Elks. Tough sequence for Yakima Valley. They had him picked off over at third. But instead, a run comes home to score. Officially just goes down as a stolen base for Jace Miller. His second of the night. As the first pitch, or should I say rather the third pitch of this at-bat, it's now 2-1 to Isaiah Fudge. O'Connor is credited with 2 stolen bases, second and third. Infield plays in now for the Pippins. 2-1 pitch from Jake is a hard line drive out to center field. O'Neill drifting back makes the catch. This is deep enough to score the run. Isaiah Fudge will be credited with a sacrifice fly as Rowan O'Connor scores. 3-0 Elks. There are 2 away here in the third, but it's 3-0 Bend. Could have been out of the inning there if Ramos had just held on to the ball at the plate. Instead, Hayden Smith will hit now in a 3-0 ball game, taking a first pitch upstairs for ball 1. Good news, bases are empty. Bad news, Pips trail by 3. 1-0 from Jake is a skyer over out to the shallow part of center field. Furuhata going back. O'Neill coming in. O'Neill loses the lid, makes the catch, and the inning is over. 3 in the books. The Elks score 2 runs on 1 hit. There were no errors by the Pippins and nobody left on base. 3 innings of play here at Vince Genna Stadium. It's 3-0 Elks. We'll be right back.
Thank you. And
Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium here in Bend, Oregon. It's the top of the fourth inning. The Pippins and the Elks on your 4th of July, Independence Day, America's 250th birthday. Brian McDougall back out for his 4th inning of work as he now has a 3-run cushion. The Elks getting 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. Here in the middle frames, the Pippins will come up to bat first as they're wearing their green tops, their gray pants, white Pippins across the chest with the bat stick logo and an apple drifting down on the left side. Bend wearing white uniforms with Bend star spangled across the chest, brown uniform or brown numbers rather with gold accents. First pitch breaking ball misses upstairs to Luis Garcia, who drew a walk back in the 2nd inning. Pippins have left 5 men on base. They got a leadoff single in the 3rd from Nick Velasquez, but he was part of a 4-6-3 double play. 1-0, Garcia watches a breaking ball downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. McDougall has walked 4, he has not struck out any, and yet he has a 3-0 lead. Pippins have not been as kind to Jake Cumming, who is at 65 pitches through 3 innings. 2-0 pitch, fastball misses upstairs from McDougall, it's 3-0. Pippins trying to get the leadoff man on base with a 3rd straight inning. Pippins only 2 hits so far tonight. They've drawn 4 walks. Out of the full windup, McDougall delivers to the plate. A 3-0 fastball that missed ball 4. Garcia thought it was a strike. He was getting ready to dig back in, but home plate umpire Jacob Fisher says, "No, son, you can take your base." Pips will take the 5th free pass. That'll bring up Levi Sotomayor. Sotomayor grounded out back in the 2nd inning. I believe he's also the K-man tonight for the Bend Elks. So fans, of course, going to be on Levi's case. First pitch takes it upstairs. It was a changeup for ball 1. Don't know what the prize is for the K-man, but hopefully Levi doesn't allow this crowd to find out. 5 walks issued by McDougall. No runs yet to his name as Levi shoots one inside out, opposite way to the left field line. It is foul. Dropped in the grass. The count moves to 1-1. 3-0 Elks on only 4 hits. McDougall comes set at the belt. Luis with a short lead over at first as the 1-1 pitch misses upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. The zone's been fluctuating tonight. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. Right now it appears to be small for McDougall. 2-1. That one was a definite miss upstairs, and now the catcher Snakenborg going to go have a chat with his right-handed arm. By all means, it hasn't really been that impressive of a start by Ryan McDougall with the 5 walks. He's gotten bailed out a couple times on defense, though, as Pippins had him 1st and 3rd in the 1st, and he got a fly out. Pippins had him bases loaded in the 2nd and got a fly out. Then, of course, the double play in the 3rd inning. The count 3 balls and 1 strike. Jacob Fisher makes a note down in his umpire's log. Puts the steno pad back in his breast pocket on the left side. 3-1 count here. Garcia over at first. The pitch. Levi shoots it out of play foul down the left side. This will bounce once off the warning track and into the Pippins bullpen. So the count runs full. Home plate umpire Jacob Fisher needs a few more baseballs. He keeps beckoning for the ball boy to come deliver them to him. Now he finally gets the restock. McDougal standing over on the first base side of the rubber. Hand set at the belt. A brief pause. Now he sends home the payoff pitch. It's upstairs, ball 4. It's now 6 walks issued by McDougal. The first 2 have reached for the Pippins. And now Abdel Ramos. Ramos, the catcher, grounded out back in the second inning. See if he can find a hit. Ramos got his first home run of the season against the Kelowna Falcons. That helped spark a 9-run outburst over 2 innings.
You guys have enough seating? Yeah, we're
First pitch to Abdel. Breaking ball down and away. Ball 1. There are bodies down in the bullpen for the Elks. Cannot see anybody throwing as of right now, but some stretching definitely going on. Dougal set at the belt, looking back to second, and Luis Garcia, the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike on the outer black, a changeup to make the count 1-1. Ramos actually riding a 4-game hitting streak if you include the last 2 non-league games. Trying to carry that over. 1-1, sent out to center field, fairly deep. Nato drifting back into the shadows. He'll make the catch. Garcia attempts a tag, but he will stay put. The ball now bouncing over the head of both Salvioni and McDougal, backing it up, and both men will advance. That'll go down as a throwing error for Nato, even though it one-hopped on the infield. But neither his third baseman nor his pitcher could pick up the ball. So it is a fly out for Ramos. 2 in scoring position, only 1 out for Derek Almeida. Maybe that's the break the Pippins needed. First pitch to Almeida is outside, ball 1. Went with a changeup. Temperatures slowly starting to dip, 84 degrees. Expecting a low tonight of about 53, but not until we get into the wee morning hours. 1-0 from McDougal. Almeida waves and misses as an outside fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Breeze still blowing in from center field at this northwesternly facing Vince Genna Stadium. 1-1. Almeida chops it on the ground over to third. He's going to throw home, and Garcia is going to be out. Garcia took off on contact with only 1 out. Sotomayor moves up to third. Almeida is aboard at first on a fielder's choice, but Pippins still have a 0 on the scoreboard as Garcia is out 5-2. Either Luis forgot how many outs there were or just wasn't paying attention, or he was running on contact. Sometimes you see that with 1 out. Top of the order, Tyson Miller, hitting for the 3rd time today, takes ball 1 low. Almeida over at first. Could possibly see him try to take off with the man at third, Sotomayor, essentially protecting him a little bit. 1-0 pitch. Tyson watches it skip in. 2 balls and no strikes. So again, McDougal gets bailed out by a hard hit ball by the Pippins. Still nobody has come across the plate for Yakima Valley. Trying to change that here in the 4th inning. 2-0. This pitch skips in. This gets away from Snakenborg, and the Pippins have scored. Sotomayor comes in on the wild pitch. Couple of miscues in this frame, an error by the center fielder Nato, and now a wild pitch thrown here by McDougal. Almeida moves up to second. Maybe that'll get the scoring started here for Yakima Valley. 3-1. That'll be an unearned run attested to Ryan McDougal. That won't help his 10 ERA from shrinking. As a 3-0 pitch is a called strike on the upper outer corner. Of course, 3 scoreless innings helped him a little bit tonight. Miller today 0 for 1, a ground out and a walk. 3-1 with Almeida out there at second. Tyson shoots one on a line. It skips one hop to Fudge out at second. The throw is low, but it's caught by Miller, and the inning is over. Pippins crack the goose egg. They score 1 run on no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. To the bottom of the 4th we go. 3-1, Ben.
And it went down to it. These guys are people that are looking around and doing for one. One from there to forever. And an also very fuller in the crowd. If you were one of the guys who would have like the fire on the alligator, you would have your fire.
Welcome to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Vince Genna Stadium. Nate Snakenborg, Vinny Salvioni, and Eli Pupo are the 3 scheduled hitters against Jake Cumming, trying to get through 4 innings here. First pitch, a fastball dotted on the inner black. 0-1 to Snakenborg, who struck out back in the 2nd inning. Cumming 3 strikeouts, 3 walks tonight, 3 earned runs given up, and 3 innings of work. His 0-1 pitch misses outside, breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, wave and a miss at a pitch downstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jake trying to set down Snakenborg on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. Nods his approval to Ramos out of the windup. The 1-2 pitch, half swing on a breaking ball. Ramos going to apply the tag. They appeal down. No swing, says Clayton Kellogg. Good job by Ramos to apply the tag first and then ask for the appeal. Sometimes catchers get those backwards, and it ends up costing them an out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cumming sends it in, and it's shot right back where it came from, down into center field for a hit. Jake throws his hands up in the air and says, "What else can I do? I made my pitch." Leadoff single for back-to-back innings here for Bend. Nate Snakenborg. 5th hit of the night for the Elks. Brings up Vinny Salvioni. Doubled back in the 2nd. Stole 3rd base, but was left stranded there. First pitch, taking all the way, was a fastball from Jake for strike 1, 0-1. Pippins have a few bodies sitting down in their bullpen. Can't see if anybody's throwing because of where I'm sitting in the press box over on the first base side. Bunt offered at, throw down to first, Levi diving, and the ball gets away, but good job by Velasquez to back him up. Had Nick not raced over there, even though Snakenborg didn't see where the ball was, he still would have had time to get up and make it to second. So Salvione offers at the bunt. It's 0-2 the count. And Velasquez and Snakenborg both kind of pair up to save Ramos from an error. 0-2 pitch sent straight back into the netting. It was a breaking ball that Salvione got just the very bottom of. Eli Pupo waiting on deck. Another 0-2 pitch. Watch out, that got inside. Snakenborg stays put over at first. Ramos able to corral that one around the batter's box. Salvione got out of the way. Looked like it might have hit him on the way by, but it did not. Cummings still way ahead in the count, 1-2. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball lifted out towards left center field. O'Neill coming in, Miller as well. It'll be Tyson who makes the catch. One away here in the fourth inning. That'll bring up Eli Pupo, who struck out looking back in the second inning. Pupo was very frustrated with the strikeout. It was an inside fastball that he thought was a bit too far inside. Pippins middle infield plays Pupo to pull on the ground over on that right side as a left-handed bat. First pitch fastball. Jake fires it in right at the knees, 0-1. Approaching the end of his line, that was pitch number 78. We'll see how long he is asked to go tonight. 0-1, sent out to left field again. Tyson moving to his right. Glove side, reaches up, makes the catch. Snakenborg will return back to first as he was not tagging. There's two away for the top of the order for the Elks. Keaton Nato 0 for 2 today. As it's 8 o'clock here in Bend, Oregon. Glad you're listening to Pippins Baseball on either the Pippins YouTube account or on Mixler. Harmon Johnsen with you. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy 4th of July to my family listening back home, having some homemade ice cream. Shooting off a few fireworks, I'm assuming. First pitch breaking ball right at the top of the zone. 0-1. I have very fond memories of 4th of July. Seems to be the one holiday that my family at least always spent at home. We'd go travel for Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter, but the 4th of July was kind of our holiday to host. 0-1 upstairs, 1 strike. So many fond memories in my head of lighting fireworks, homemade ice cream. Of course, where I'm from in Nebraska and Sutherland, the parade starts basically right outside our house. So we got all the good candy. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball down and away, 2 balls and a strike. It was always a fun day. Usually had some friends come over, watch the parade, play some games. Then, of course, when it got dark, you went, you got your fireworks out, you lit them off, you had some homemade ice cream. 2-1, fastball high and away, 3 balls and 1 strike here to Nato. So I'm sure replicating that just a little bit. Of course, now we've all gotten older and all have things that we're doing, but second straight year that I've been in the Pacific Northwest on the road for the 4th of July. We were in Walla Walla last year. 3-1. Cumming gets a strike on the outer black. The count runs full, and the runner at first, Snakenborg, will be off with the pitch. So happy Independence Day to all my family back home in Nebraska. I think they're all listening around the fire pit or in the street, ready to shoot off some fireworks. There goes Snakenborg. The payoff pitch is a ground ball past Levi over at first and into right field. Snakenborg will turn around second and head to third. First and third, the situation on a 2-out single by Keaton Nato. With 2 outs, Jace Miller, who's been on twice today, will step up to the dish. Coach Salscheider making his way out of the dugout, which is way deep over at third base, to go have a chat with Jake Cumming to see if he can get this last out in the fourth before turning it over to the bullpen. Salsa, Ramos, and Cumming with the meeting out on the hill. Also, while we're on the topic of the 4th of July, very special thank you to all the servicemen and women who help maintain the freedoms that we're celebrating today. America was born out of revolution. They continue to promote the freedoms that we have around the world today, and so thankful for a few of my former classmates that I know are serving right now. Some of my former friends from some other schools that I know are serving right now, and of course, some friends and family outside of my personal life. But so thankful for all their service. Runner at first takes off. The pitch is a breaking ball downstairs. Ramos pump fakes and puts it in his pocket. Stolen base for Keaton Nato. Lance Charles served in the Navy. Some other family members that I did not meet personally or were not quite as close with, as the pitch bounces in. 2 balls and no strikes, also serving. It's a great day to remember all the things that we need to be thankful for. That sounds like Thanksgiving, but when you really get a chance to step back and show off your patriotism and remember why we have the things we have, it's kind of special. 2-0 misses down and away, ball 3. And of course, we do it in the most stereotypically American way possible, eating a bunch of hot dogs, drinking a lot of beer, and shooting off fireworks, making explosions in the sky. Jace Miller in a 3-0 count. First base is open. Cumming pitches. Gets a strike to stay alive. 3-1. Approaching 90 pitches now for Jake. Definitely nearing the end of his night. Jake versus Jace. Cumming versus Miller. Deep breath. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball outside. Ball 4. Fourth walk issued by Cumming, and the bags are loaded for the Elks. No, wait a minute. Jacob Fisher said that was strike 2. Okay. He did say strike 2. It's a little bit of a delayed call. Jacob Fisher granting time here while Miller, who had started his trot down to first, digs back in. Alan Cox was about to head out to the hill or rather out to the batter's circle and have a chat with the home plate umpire, but he'll wait here. New life for Cumming. 3-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball on the ground. Almeida dives. He can't get it. It's into left field. 1 run scores. Here comes the second. Miller's throw is cut off. Jace Miller limited to his second single of the day. It's now 5-1 Bend. Give Jace Miller 2 RBI as both Snakenborg and Nato come home to score. And this appears to be the end of the line for Yakima Valley's starter, Jake Cumming. Coach Crustangel out of the dugout, and Jake Cumming departs this contest. We'll get you the information on the new Pippins pitcher when we get back. It's 5-1 Bend here on the 4th of July at Vince Genna Stadium.
Oh, they also really done of the ball. See, I'm kidding. I don't want to go past it. So it's pretty flatly for the problem. Here was the problem. What I'm kids are season. So the again, the problem with the students. When I'm sorry, what they do is see that honestly getting with things. Oh, so more if that was it's a writer, we already for, I got trading for, and look at, and all things, that I'm, here right now, it's like, you like, maybe, for the hard to do, it's a time, I want to, the best one, the best, role.
Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium. The new pitcher for the Yakima Valley Pippins is Carl Mullen Kovash from Whitman College. On the season for the Pips, 9 innings, 6 games, 8 strikeouts to 8 walks, 2 hits, and 3 earned runs for a 3 ERA. That does include his appearance during the non-leagues, which came back against the WC Fish Sticks, throwing 4 scoreless innings without giving up a hit. He walked 1, he struck out 3. And so we'll see what Carl can do here with a runner at first, 2 home here in the inning. A 5-1 contest that the Elks have got 3 hits in the inning. Isaac Pfeiffer hits with Jace Miller over at first following an RBI single. Jake Cumming leaves with 91 pitches to his name. As the first pitch from Carl misses down and away, ball 1. So for Jake, he goes 3 2/3 innings, his second shortest outing of the season. Gives up 8 hits, and to this point so far, 5 runs. Carl gets a pitch downstairs. Ramos doesn't know where the ball went. It's behind the batter, and after a pump fake to first that sent Miller back to first, he ends up going to second. That is just lazy, lazy defense by Abel Ramos. Jace Miller stands at second. So now Carl has to look at a man in scoring position. The pitch was a ball, as it's now flied out on a 2-0 count to center field. Jay O'Neill will put it away, and the inning will come to a close. So the mistake behind the dish doesn't hurt Ramos, but 2 runs come home on 3 hits. No errors, as I believe that was ruled a pass ball, and 1 man left on base. 5-1 here at Vince Genna Stadium. The Elks lead it going to the 5th.
Now we're going to blow the yellow swing flat it out. I'm going to be followed. We're we bring yes. Fairness.
Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium here in the top of the fifth inning. New pitcher into the game for the Bend Elks, as coming out of the bullpen will be Chris Peronis from Glendale Community College. 25 games pitched for the Glendale Gauchos, a 1-4 record with 45 innings under his belt, 5 saves though, and a 5.60 ERA. So McDougal done after 4 innings of work and 73 pitches. And the first offering to Daichi Furuhata from the lefty is called a strike at the knees. Daichi today 1 for 2 with a double and a flyout. Ronas out of the full windup. Daichi is late on it. It sends it foul past Panch 0-2. Coronas, 42 strikeouts as well at Glendale. As his 0-2 misses upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The final line tonight for the starter, Ryan McDougal, 4 innings. As here's the 1-2 pitch. Daichi takes a slider inside. It was 2 balls and 2 strikes. Final line for McDougal, 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. 6 walks and no strikeouts, and somehow departs with the lead. 2-2. Daichi pounds it high on the ground over towards first. Miller steps on the bag. 1 away here in the 5th. Scored at 3 unassisted if you're keeping track at home. One thing McDougal can't qualify for, though, is the win. He only went 4 innings. But at around 75 pitches, you wonder just how much gas was left in the tank for a guy that's longest outing is 5 2/3 this summer, with a lot of walks as well. Nick Velasquez takes the first pitch he sees, a slider on the outer black for strike 1. Nick today 1 for 2 as well, but his single was erased on a double play back in the 3rd inning. Slices this one down the left field line. Pupo ranging over, laying out, diving. He made the catch. A web gem for Eli Pupo out in left field, and Nick Velasquez robbed of a double. That was similar to Tommy Lamb's catch in center field about a week ago for Yakima Valley, as Nick, in frustration, pounds the helmet as he goes down the dugout steps. Parker Burt takes the first pitch he sees for a strike. The count 0-1. Parker today 0 for 1, grounded into a double play in the 3rd, walked in the 1st. Wave and a foul tip. It's quickly 0-2. Ben trying to immediately get back on offense after putting up back-to-back 2 spots. The 0-2 hard on the ground out to short. O'Connor down to a knee. He sends it across to first, and a 1-2-3 frame is worked by Peronis. All zeros, no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. Halfway home here at Vince Genna Stadium. Bottom of the 5th is next. Elks lead at 5-1. Fifth inning of play here at Vince Genna Stadium in Bend, Oregon. About a 4-hour trip from Yakima. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Bend Elks as they lead it 5-1 here on Independence Day. Happy 4th of July, everybody. O'Connor today does not have an official at-bat. He has walked twice. First pitch from Carl Mullen Kovash is fouled back into the netting. 0-1. Carl threw 3 pitches to get the 1 out in the 4th inning. It was a passed ball that allowed Jace Miller to move up to second on some lack defense by Abel Ramos. He's back there behind the dish again for the 5th as the 0-1 slow breaking ball catches the top of the zone to make the count 0-2. Carl definitely a different type of pitcher than Jake Cumming. Not going to be quite as fast on the fastball, not going to be quite as tight with the breaking ball, but that loop really helps get some swing and miss. 0-2, there is the looping breaker. An appeal down to first, and Clayton Kellogg says there was no swing. Sun at that point that here in about an inning or so will be able to take off the sunglasses, but right now Carl's shadow stretches from the mound all the way to the warning track behind the home plate seats. Wave and a miss. A big breaking ball in the left-hand batter's box. Ramos throws high and he pulls Levi off the bag. Throwing error by Abel Ramos. Are you kidding me? He was halfway to first base and he looped the throw wide. So it's a strikeout, but moving on to first on what is the wild pitch. That might have saved Ramos from a potential error. Well, they put it on there. I don't believe it. First pitch, a strike on the outer half to Isaiah Fudge. 0-1. That's been a trend for Ramos the last couple of weeks. Check over to first. Not in time to get O'Connor. Last night, Parker Burt was charged with 2 errors as the catcher, both of them throwing. So now 3 errors on the Pippins catchers during this series. Foul ball, runner was going. Pitch was way out of the yard. Ramos looking up to see where the ball was. 0-2. Fudge today 1 for 1. A single in the first, a sacrifice fly in the third. Carl set at the belt, the 0-2 pitch. Here's a slicer foul. Ramos again looking up into the sky. He has no idea where the baseball's at right now. You can tell. That's not the most confident thing if you're down in the dugout, Coach Crustangel and crew. When your catcher's looking up at the sky on a foul ball that was down on the ground. 0-2, another spin to first. Carl picks off, but back in plenty of time as it was about the D move for Carl is Rowan O'Connor. Long look in. Mullen Kovash set at the letters. Runner takes off. The pitch is outside. The throw. Nobody's covering the bag. Daichi eventually gets there and keeps it on the infield. A little bit of miscommunication between Nick and Daichi. The throw was on target, but nobody was there to receive it. The count is 1-2. Carl looking for his second strikeout of the night. One, two, a slow tapper back out to the mound. Carl leaps, falls down, back to his feet, underhand flip, and out at first base is Isaiah Fudge. Near disaster avoided there by Carl Mullen Kovash. Hopefully he's okay after tumbling to the ground. It goes down in your scorebook as just a 1-3 putout with Rowan O'Connor moving up to third. Infield will play in on the grass now as Hayden Smith, who's 0 for 2 today, hits with 1 out and a man at third. First pitch. There's a breaking ball stuck on the outer half. 0-1. You wouldn't be quite as frustrated with Ramos right now if the bat was producing as well, as the breaking ball is blocked at the plate, 1-1. But the bat also hasn't quite been where it was at the start of the year. As Obvel batting only .265. 1-1. The breaking ball plunks the front arm of Hayden Smith. Runners are going to be at the corners with only 1 out. Brings up Nate Snakenborg. Single and a strikeout. Snakenborg came around to score in the 4th inning. He was 1 of 2 runs. Pips are going to have to work hard here to keep a run from scoring for the 3rd straight inning. Delayed steal at first. Ramos puts the ball in his pocket. The pitch was a ball, according to Jacob Fisher, maybe. I didn't see any signal. On the scoreboard, it says 0-1 with a strike. Infield will play in. Breaking ball downstairs. That one was a ball. No signal from our home plate umpires to what the count actually is. He takes a look. Yeah, it's 2-0. At least that's what the finger said. I don't know. The sun's messing with me. Waving a miss. That is a strike. Infield playing on the cut of the grass. Outfield playing straight up. Pitch from Carl. Breaking ball. Okay, so it was a strike. That was called strike 3. Nate Snakenborg arguing with Jacob Fisher on what the count was. Well, got to be careful of the opposing catcher barking orders at the home plate umpire. He now walks off. Okay. I can't see the hands very well because of where the sun is coming in. There's a nice glare right off the field. And so even though he held up his hands, I couldn't determine how many fingers it was. Almost to that point where we won't have to deal with the sun anymore. As the first pitch into Vinny Salvione is skied out to right field. Garcia sliding, ranging over, and he made the catch. Going down to a knee and twisting around. Glove gems in both halves of the inning. This one courtesy of Luis Garcia. No one comes home to score despite a couple of miscues by the Pips. We go to the 6th. Yakima Valley needs some offense, down by 4.
All right, so it's oh, no, no. Okay. Downtime. I'm thinking we have a winner.
Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium. All three of you, at least the three of you on YouTube, do have two listeners on Mixler, so welcome. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Pippins trail 5-1 here in the 6th inning. They'll send up Jay O'Neill, Luis Garcia, and Levi Sotomayor. Against this pitcher in his 2nd inning now, Chris Peronis. First pitch misses downstairs for ball 1. Peronis got a ground out to first, a fly out to left, and a ground out to short on only 9 pitches. He works from the full windup as the next offering to the left-handed stick of Jay O'Neill is a fastball that misses inside 2-0. We had one big boom off to our right, so some folks starting some fireworks just before the sun gets completely below the horizon. Still plenty of daylight, about an hour of true daylight left as the pitch catches the outer black, 2-1. So we won't see quite as many fireworks for about another hour or so as Jay sends the 2-1 on the ground out to second. Fudge on 2 hops, sends it low. Here's a stretch and a grab by Miller at first. He just saved his second baseman an error. Miller went down into a full split and had to stick the glove out at the last second. Again, just goes down as a simple 4-3 in your scorebook. As the first pitch to Luis Garcia misses outside for ball 1. Miller's playing a great brand of first base tonight, I tell you what. 1-0, shot right over top of the Elks dugout, over to Coach Panch in the first base box. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pips have 4 innings to try to score 4 runs and hold Bend to no more. 1-1 on the ground. This time the Pippins dugout has a chance. Over on the third base side, the count now 1-2. Peronis stands square to the hill and now sends it in right over the heart of the plate. A changeup. Luis couldn't even get the bat off his shoulders. There's 2 away. Last hope here in the 6th is Levi Sotomayor. Tonight, a walk, a run scored, and a ground out. First pitch to Levi is a strike right on the outer black. It's 0-1. So Levi's got the only run of the night so far. The 0-1. Sent straight back. 0-2 goes the count. Sotomayor going to try to avoid the strikeout here as the bat boy accidentally flips the ball onto home plate. Oh, and to the count. Peronis winds and fires. The pitch. Half swing, sent foul. This one bounces right back to the feet of Jacob Fisher. And that time, the ball boy will return to the dugout with the ball. Here's another 0-2. Down and away. Peronis started to walk off the hill, but it was called ball 1. Here's the 1-2 now. High and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Peronis has what he wants, very loosely out on the hill. A wave and a foul tip at the dish. Snakenborg could not hold on. So Levi still alive for at least another pitch. Lefty-lefty matchup here. 2 balls and 2 strikes out of the full windup. Wave and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Peronis, and the top of the 6th is in the books. Another clean inning worked by the lefty. No runs, no hits, no errors. None left on. Bottom of the 6th is next. 5-1 here in Bend.
Hey, I'll make the noise free. And you are small. Raise your arm finger. You're gonna want three things like that. I'll need the free person. Let's do your take the runway.
Bottom of the sixth inning here at Vince Genna Stadium. Happy Independence Day, everybody. My name's Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. Leading off will be the number 9 hitter for Bend, Eli Pupo, and then the top of the order will hit for the 4th time. Carl Mullen-Kovash beginning his second full inning of work. He got an out in the 4th inning to get the Pippins out of that side. First pitch from Carl misses down and in, 1 ball and no strikes. You've got Pupo and then Nato and Miller. Elks lead at 5-1, 5 runs on 7 hits. Pips have 1 run on 2 hits. Down and in again, 2 balls and no strikes. Carl touching 86 on that fastball. 2-0. Here's a slicer, foul down the left field line. Pippin's bullpen going to end up with a new pearl. So it's 2-1. Carl threw a scoreless, hitless inning against the WC Fish Sticks on Monday. He actually threw 4 of them, I should say. 4 innings, no runs, no hits, 3 strikeouts and a walk. Only 1 man reached against Carl. It was the walk. Inside pitch, the count moves to 3-1. He might have allowed 2 base runners. One of them was an error. I remember there being an error while Carl was pitching, but he might have gotten a double play to get out of it as well. I'll have to look back in my scorebook here. 3-1, sent straight back into the netting, 3-2. Let's just do that here. Back on Monday, yeah, it was an E4 back in the 7th that he was left stranded, and then the walk in the 9th ended up being a double play. So only 1 extra man faced Carl Mullen-Kovash back on Monday. Payoff pitch. Fastball, hard at the plate. Pupo down looking for the second time. He had no argument for this second strikeout. Top of the order comes back up to hit here for the Elks. Nato 1 for 3 today, a single, a strikeout, and a pop out. Pippin's got to get the offense going. After the next 2 outs here, we'll be in the late innings on the 4th of July. Showing bunt is Nato. He'll pull back and take a breaking ball high, 4-1. Here in a few more minutes, the sun will finally be behind the trees out in center field, and everybody can remove their hand from their eye here in the bleachers. 1-0, fastball top of the zone, 1-1. I hear a couple more fireworks going off in the distance. Last year in Walla Walla, it was raining a little bit right after the game. The fireworks showed the ballpark was successful, but then there was some sprinkles that came through. 1-1, showing bunt again. Nato takes the bat back and sees 2-1 now. And so there weren't quite as many fireworks going off as I think I was expecting. I'll be excited to see what it's like here on a beautiful night in Bend. 2-1 pitch from Carl, a fastball hard of the plate, 2-2. Weather temperatures here in the high desert of Oregon, 81 degrees. Wind blowing at 10 miles an hour. Low temperature tonight expected is 53, so it's going to be very pleasant tonight. 2-2 from Carl, shot over by the first base dugout. Ricochets back into play, and Carl's going to get the baseball back. It rolled right back to the mound. He'll ditch it and ask for a new Pearl. 2-2. Tomorrow supposed to be very nice as well. A high temperature of 87 expected. Mostly sunny conditions. It's a 5:05 first pitch tomorrow night. Gives the Pippins a chance to get home and get into their off day on Monday. A well-deserved one at that. 2-2, down and away. Count runs full. The Pippins have played now 12 straight ball games with one more left to play tomorrow. All beginning last Tuesday with a game against the Wenatchee Apple Sox. Payoff pitch from Carl Mullen Kovash on the ground out towards second. Nick dives, throws the glove at it, can't get there, and it's into center field for a single. Second hit of the night for Keaton Nato. With one away, there's one on. Nick lunged for that ball, but could not come up with it. Now here's a dangerous bat, Jace Miller. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI, 2 stolen bases. He's been a thorn in the side of Yakima Valley all series. It all started with a solo home run in the 9th inning last night that made it a 1-run game. First pitch, a grounder right back to the hill. Carl going to flip. Daichi standing at second. Stands on the bag. Goes to first. Double play. Much needed positive play for Yakima Valley. As we go to the 7th inning, a 1-6-3 gets us to the late innings.
They're going to raise down to the end, all right? All right. On the count of 3, we're going to get going. All right, you go. Wow, bring it back in, bring it back in.
Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium, top of the 7th inning here in Bend, Oregon. Here's some scores from around the West Coast League as most everybody was in action tonight. I actually think everybody was in action tonight. We reported on some finals earlier. Bottom of the 7th inning in Walla Walla, the Sweets lead it 7-6 over the Ridgefield Raptors. Top of the 8th inning across the border in Nanaimo, the Bellingham Bells lead it 5-3 over the Night Owls. Springfield at Corvallis tonight. The Knights lead at 9-2 in the top of the 6th. Peronis back out for his third inning of work. Abel Ramos takes a home run hack on a pitch down and away and falls behind 0-1. Top of the seventh at Kelowna, the Falcons lead at 3-2 over the Victoria Harbor Cats. And in North Division action again, Wenatchee leading Edmonton 7-1 up in Wenatchee. 0-1 pitch downstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Second time the Riverhawks go to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium in Wenatchee. They had a 4-game set a couple of weeks ago there after a rainout. As Ramos skies one foul over on the right side. This one will land in the residential neighborhood and bounce a couple times into somebody's garage. So the count 1-2. The pitch. Ramos again on the right side. This one dinks off the lights. The brand new lighting here at Vince Genna Stadium. Back-to-back balls into that person's front yard. Another 1-2. Ramos on the ground at third. Salvione flips it across. Another nice pick over at first by Miller. 1 away here in the seventh. Jace Miller does not let anything by him. That's what you want out of your first baseman. The sun has disappeared beyond the mountains. A bright orange glow still persisting behind a tree, but a lot of people with some weary arms have now put them back down to grab onto their snack, their drink, or their loved one. As here's a ground ball on the first pitch to Almeida, right back to the mound. Spinning over there is Peronis. Dropping the ball initially is Miller, but he has plenty of time to regather and step on the bag. 1-3 the putout, 2 away, back to the top of the order for Yakima Valley. That's Tyson Miller, who is 0 for 2 today with a walk. It's a pretty picture, kind of like a Bob Ross picture out in left field with the mountains, very dark color. You can tell where some of the snow is. It's all in silhouette, though. First pitch strike to Tyson on the outer black. The new lighting system here, by the way, dark sky certified. Less light pollution to the surrounding community as Tyson sends the 0-1 pitch out to left. Another diving attempt and another catch made by Eli Pupo in left field. Nothing going the Pippins' way tonight. They've been robbed of some hits to left with the man Pupo out there patrolling the outfield. Stretch time here at Vince Genna Stadium. We'll be back. Elks lead at 5-1. Stretch time come and gone here on America's 250th birthday, the semi-quincentennial, America 250, however you want to say it. Happy 4th of July, everybody. We're anticipating fireworks up on the butte here in Bend, Oregon in about an hour and 15 minutes. After Carl Mullen Kovash departs, going 2 1/3 inning, giving up 1 hit, no runs, and 3 strikeouts. A great outing by Carl. Sebastian Fry enters the game from Olympic College on the season, playing in his 8th game, including a start against non-league opponent. First pitch he throws, misses outside to the number 3 hitter, Isaac Pfeiffer. 1 ball and no strikes. Fry made a start during that non-league stretch. He was a starter at Olympic. As the 1-0 is sent foul back into the netting. Went 3 innings against the Northwest Star Nighthawks, giving up 5 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned. Time going to be called here. Looks like Pfeiffer needs a little bit more sticky. He's going to ask for the rosin, and a big puff plumes out as he catches it with a bare hand. He doesn't bat with batting gloves, so he needed some rosin to apply to the sticky part of the bat. 1 ball and 1 strike here as Fry stands over on the first base side of the rubber. Breaking ball, high and tight. 2-1. Backed off Pfeiffer just a touch. Nearing the 9 o'clock hour here in Bend, Oregon. This game flying by, it seems. Downstairs with the 2-1, it's now 3-1. Again, the fireworks show over on the Butte expected to be at about 10 o'clock. I'm hoping that we're at least in the vicinity to see some of those. 3-1 from Fry. Downstairs, ball 4, leadoff walk here in the 7th inning, something that Carl Mullen Kovash did not do, and Jake Cumming did 3 times. 3 walks for Cumming on 3 strikeouts as well. Carl, no walks, 3 strikeouts. That was something that the Pippins cleaned up last night. Austin Dillon issued 2 walks. All 3 bullpen arms did not issue a walk. So tonight, 4 walks for the Pips, just a little bit elevated from last night. But the first pitch from Fry to Rowan O'Connor misses down and in for ball 1. That's what really hurt Yakima Valley during the homestand was walks. 1-0 on the ground, out towards Nick very slowly. He's going to turn and go to second base. He is late. Clayton Kellogg says safe out at second base. Nick has his hat off in disbelief. He's trying to have a chat with the field umpire. Coach Crustangel trying to call time and discuss this with Clayton Kellogg. Daichi out there having a conversation as well. And now Kellogg over to have a chat with Coach Crustangel. Just hearing some chatter through my headset. The folks here in the press box at Vince Genna Stadium thought he was out by a good step or 2. Been one of those nights where none of the calls seem to be going Yakima Valley's way. It's a 5-1 game. You're not out of reach, but now that there's 2 on and nobody out, you slowly start to slip down a road that it makes it hard to come back from. Clayton Kellogg going to jog into home plate and talk with Jacob Fisher. Home plate umpire probably not going to help much on this situation because he usually trails the runner down to first. And so the call's going to stand because of the 2-man crew. It's a fielder's choice that Rowan O'Connor reaches on. Pfeiffer safe at second, moving up. Isaiah Fudge, 1 for 2 today, a single, a ground out, and a sacrifice fly. Tough spot to be in if you're Fry. Thought you got out 1 out there at second base. First pitch misses downstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. With how slowly hit the ball was rolling out to Nick, you thought maybe he was just going to concede the second base runner and go on to first. But he tried to get the lead out, which is a smart play, as the 1-0 is sent foul out of play. Just couldn't, according to Clayton Kellogg, get the ball there in time. It was a clean transfer. Fry peering in for his sign. Now he comes set at the waist. Runners dance. Both of them go. Ramos bobbles the transition, and everybody's safe. A little bit too quick. Trying to get the ball from the glove to the hand for Ramos. Stolen base given to Pfeiffer to third, O'Connor to second. Infield comes in. Can't allow anything more to come across the plate. 2-1. Fastball misses down and in. It's a 3-1 count. 5-1 score, and the Elks threatening here with 2 in scoring position and nobody out, trying to put the game away here on the 4th of July. Pass misses down and in for ball 4. And now you're in a tough situation. Bases loaded, nobody out, and it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the designated hitter spot. Brody Whitcomb. Whitcomb wears number 30. Brody Whitcomb from nowhere. He's uncommitted, coming out of the high school ranks. Coach Salsa out to the hill to talk to Bass, as a couple of walks and a fielder's choice that might have been out number 1 at second have loaded the bases. Whitcomb spelled Whitcomb. Pinch hitting here in the 7th. Hayden Smith will end his night 0 for 2, reaching on a hit by pitch. Pippin's going to continue to play in on the grass. We'll see what Yakima Valley elects to do here. Might be a bunting type situation if you're Whitcomb. Does not square. First pitch from Bass. Misses down and away. Ball 1. Daichi playing more up the middle in on the grass as the 1-0 is stroked out to left center field. Fairly deep, but with the wind blowing in, it'll hang up for Miller. This is deep enough to score a run. The throw going to come into third. Almeida keeps it in front. First and third, sacrifice fly for Whitcomb off the bench. It's now 6-1, Bend Elks. There is an out on the board now, but a run is what the cost of the out is. Here's Nate Snakenborg. 1 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts and a single and a run scored. Runner at first takes off. Snakenborg fouls it out of play over to our right. This one bounces onto the shed of that house that just recently got 2 foul balls. Few more fireworks going off behind us here. Can't see any of them, but somebody's sending off a salvo. A 1. Down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. It is kind of neat to be playing on the 4th of July, especially a night game. Reminds you of the moment from the Sandlot when they all get together and play the only night game they can because the fireworks light up the sky. Runner takes off again. Snakenborg drives one out to deep right center field. O'Neill going back, laying out on the track. It bounces up against the wall, and actually it bounces up against the banner that says Bend Elks Baseball. So this is going to be a ground rule double. That banner is technically beyond the wall and out of play. And so only 1 run will come home to score, Rowan O'Connor. Stopping at third is Isaiah Fudge. It's the same situation, second and third, and only 1 out on the RBI double by Nate Snakenborg. Vinny Salvione will hit with the infield pulled in for Yakima Valley. First pitch misses high and away from Bass. 1-0. Francisco Lopez walking around down near the bullpen. He is not likely going to pitch tonight. He's not even in his baseball pants, but this ball skips in. Ramos plays it like a first baseman, keeps it in front. 2-0. It appears there's movement down there, though, as Hound Tanaka, the sidewinding lefty, is getting loose. 2-0 pitch, misses outside. It's ball 3 with first base open. Fry in danger of only getting 1 out in this relief appearance. 7-1 Elks. 3-0 pitch from Bass. Uncompetitive at bat. It's ball 4. The bags are loaded here in the 7th inning. No move from the dugout just yet from Coach Crestangel. They do have a left-handed stick up. Eli Pupo trying to see if Bass can find one more out here, potentially. Maybe get a ground ball, turn a double play, and send us to the 8th. 6-run contest, 7-1 the score. Bend leads it. First pitch catches the top of the zone. It's 0-1. It was a fastball from Bass. Corner infield plays in. The 0-1 is sent out to left field. This is dying for a base hit. 1 run home to score. Tyson gets to it as the second man rounds third. Nate Snakenborg will score. The throw goes into third, trying to advance first to third. Salvione, he is out. A 2 RBI single for Eli Pupo makes it now 9-1. A second out on the base pads recorded. Vinny Salvione is out 7-5. Fudge scores. Snakenborg scores. Pupo at first after the 2 RBI single. We're back to the top of the order, and the 8th man to hit in the inning, Keaton Nato. 4 spot put up here in the 7th inning by the Elks, putting this one farther and farther out of reach as Bass sends a first pitch fastball right by Nato. 2 for 4 today, 2 singles, and a run scored. Bass set at the hip. Runner takes off at first. The pitch down and away. The throw by Ramos is a good one, but Velasquez, did he hang on to the ball? No, he did not. He dropped it. Stolen base for Eli Pupo. Another man in scoring position. Nato with 2 hits today. A third one would make this a 10-1 game. Bass's 1-1 is foul tipped into the mitt, and it's 1-2. Pippins in the 8th have 2, 3, and 4 in their order. They're going to need a load of runs to try to make a comeback. 1-2 pitch from Bass. In the left-hand batter's box, no chance for Ramos. Moving up to third will be Eli Pupo on the wild pitch. So the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes, I believe. The scoreboard says 1-2. Fry sends it in. This one skips in front of the apron. Ramos keeps it in front. So the count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Time called is, looks like that piece, or that ball rather, got a piece of Ramos. Jacob Fisher giving the catcher a chance to shake out his leg. It's become a very Bend Elks favorable night tonight. They have a 4 spot here in the 7th with a man at third trying to extend the lead even more. The payoff pitch from Bass is high and away, ball 4. That'll bring a 9th man out to the dish, but not before Coach Crustangel makes a move to the bullpen. He's walking out to the hill. The signal has been made, and with runners at the corners, we'll head to a pitching change. Bass Fry will depart. 9-1 the score here at Vince Genna Stadium. We'll be back to the bottom of the seventh in just a moment.
In your life, please sing them if you feel comfortable or able to do so. If you would like to honor it and appreciate it. Round of applause for those that have been today, but a third opportunity to get a day holiday in the On behalf of everybody else, I'd like to thank you guys for serving our country, and thank you all for being your Fourth of July with us. We appreciate it. Glad you're here.
Hound Tanaka is into the game for the Yakima Valley Pippins. The southpaw from Japan. Tanaka from Yakima Valley College as the umpires continue to have a chat. Hounds finished his warm-ups. Now everybody will have to disperse back to their spots. 9 1/3 innings with the Pippins. 1-0 is the record. 7 games, 10 strikeouts, 11 walks, 11 hits, and 11 earned runs given up for Tanaka for a 10.61 ERA. Ninth man to hit here in the inning, Jace Miller. 2 for 3 tonight, 2 singles, a ground into a double play, and a walk. He has scored twice. He has driven in 2. Runners are at the corners here in a 9-1 contest. Eli Pupo's at third. Keaton Nato is at first after a walk. First pitch misses well outside. 1 ball and no strikes from the side-winding lefty. Tanaka with the Pippins, last working against the Portland Gherkins on July 2nd. 1-0. Pitch caught the outer black. It's 1-1. Longest outing of the summer for him was 625 against the Wenatchee Apple Sox. That was after pitching an inning the night before. 1-1 pitch. Way outside. Pulls Ramos out of his crouch. 2 balls and a strike. Tanaka being asked to get the last out of the 7th inning here, and then most likely the 3 outs in the 8th, unless the Pippins can storm back and score at least 8 runs in the next 6 outs. 2-1. Hound misses outside. Not quite finishing his pitches right now. Missing to the arm side. 3 balls and 1 strike. Second base is open. Elks about to bat around. From the belt, the 3-1 pitch misses outside. Ball 4. So Jace Miller walks to load the bases, and a man who drew a walk to start the inning, Isaac Pfeiffer, will hit for the second time here in the seventh. Pippins won yesterday 6-5. Today they've given them 9 runs on 10 hits and an error. Outside again, Hound falls behind 1-0. Darkness settling in here at Vince Genna Stadium as Tanaka this time gets it over the plate, but it's low to make it 2 balls and no strikes. Two 2-0. There's a strike right on the bottom corner. 2-1. Pfeiffer today 1 for 3, drawing the walk in the seventh, getting a single in the first. 2-1, wave and a miss. At a slow breaking ball, 2-2. Large crowd in attendance. I think I overheard around 1,500. I'm very confused on the capacity of the stadium. It's listed at 3,500, but seems like a lot of seats are full right now. 2-2 pitch from Hound, skied in foul territory over on the right side, giving chase Ramos. He's going to run out of room as it bounces into the front row. The expensive seats end up with a souvenir. So the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pippins again in the 8th inning have 2, 3, and 4 due up. Bases loaded, the 2-2 pitch. Another foul ball on the right side. This one's going to get out of the ballpark. Bounces up against a camper. Pfeiffer waiting. 2-2 from Tanaka. Wave and a miss. Ramos held on. A slow breaking ball got Pfeiffer. Call it 4 runs on only 2 hits. There were 3 men left on the base pads. No errors committed by Yakima Valley. We go to the 8th inning. 9-1 Bend Elks here at Vince Genna Stadium on the 4th of July.
Get the damn tape. Well, yeah, my God. Well, we can find a deal right now. You can do that, David. Breathe off. Oh, anyways. Let's get it together. All the way up to it, you know, they're taking it. Hey, down. Hey, down. 2, 3, 2, 1. Now, the Royal from Portsmouth Community College for 45. Shame.
New pitcher into the game here in the top of the 8th inning at Vince Genna Stadium. Josh Jackson enters with an 8-run cushion from Umpqua Community College, native of Eagle Point, Oregon. First season with the Bend Elks, 7 1/3 innings, 2 saves in 6 games, 13 strikeouts to 2 walks. First hitter here is Daichi Furuhata, swinging at the first pitch he sees and sending it foul. Might have been upstairs for ball 1. Daichi tonight, a double, a flyout, and a groundout. Jackson used in a variety of roles at Umpqua, 0-1 in 2024. Took 2025 off, it appears, and then in 2026, 1-3, but 4 saves. Daichi chops the 0-1 very slowly out to short. O'Connor charging in, throws across the diamond. Good stretch by Miller. Out number 1. It continues to be a stellar defensive night for the Bend Elks, who seem to be making every play that comes their way. Alan Cox not taking any chances here, bringing in a guy that has closed games so far this summer in an 8-run game to shut down any potential Pippins rally. Nick Velasquez, 1 for 3 today with a single. Jackson stands tall out on the middle of the rubber and sends the first pitch upstairs, 0-1 and 0. Jackson coming set at the belly button. He really gets down the hill. Kind of cross body too. 0-1. Rather now 1-1 as the pitch was called a strike. His drive foot is over on the first base side of the rubber. His landing foot almost lands on the third base side of the mound on the landing spot. 1-1. Misses down and away with a breaking ball, 2-1. And so Jackson really relying on the uncorking type motion, crossing himself up almost, trying to get some leverage to bring that right arm around. 2-1 pitch. Velasquez sends foul over on the left. So the count 2-2. In the 8th inning for the Elks, it'll be Rowan O'Connor, Isaiah Fudge, and then Whitcomb, who pinch hit for the designated hitter Hayden Smith. Pippins need a big rally. 1 out here in the 8th. 5 outs left on offense. 2-2. Nick stays alive, shooting 1 foul again over on the left. That firework was relatively close by. The count 2-2. Nick trying to fight another pitch. Here it comes. It's upstairs with a changeup. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pippins again back in action tomorrow. 5:05 p.m. first pitch. You can listen on either channel that you're listening on now, either Mixler or on YouTube. The payoff. Nick shoots a very high fly ball out towards left. Pupo coming in, nearly runs into his shortstop O'Connor. It was a relatively routine play for Pupo, who's had a couple of web gems today. O'Connor almost messed him up. 2 away here in the 8th. Parker Burt 0 for 2 today, a couple of ground balls. Burt committing to Ball State right before the game. First pitch he sees is a fastball outside, 1-0. So that'll be a fun adventure for the Texas native who played JUCO in Texas and then went up to Colorado to play a season with Regis at the D2 rank. Wave and a miss, a big home run cut by Parker on a changeup downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now going to call Muncie, Indiana, his home for a majority of the year this upcoming season. 1-1. Burt loses the bat as he sends one foul back to the screen. He's going to request some time off to get a little bit more spray. He'll doctor up the barrel of, or the barrel, it's the handle actually. Not quite where he grips it, but of course not on the barrel. One ball and 2 strikes. Jackson set. Deep breath. Here it comes. Down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looking around the rest of the league, some more final scores are pouring in. Kelowna beats Victoria 3-2. That game in Kelowna. 2-2. Parker shoots out to right field. Pfeiffer backing up. He makes the catch. And the Pippins are set down in order. After a perfect 3 innings of relief from Peronis, Jackson comes in and sets down 3 straight. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 9-1, Bend.
We are doing the competition type for that. American, we're beating us. All right. Calling on down, we're going to go where you gotta go. All right. Also looking for the best bullet. And I think we all agree that a 30-year bullet is the best mind good bullet, all right? Keep on it. That's
Count Tanaka back out for the bottom of the 8th inning after walking 1 and striking out 1 in the 7th. He'll face 4, 5, and 6 for the Elks. Rowan O'Connor, Isaiah Fudge, and then Brody Whitcomb. O'Connor today, 0 for 2. 2 walks drawn, 2 runs scored. Reached on a strikeout that Ramos then threw the ball away on. First pitch swinging, and he grounds it out to Almeida at third. Fresno State commit, sends it across, and beats O'Connor by a half a step. Good start to the 8th inning for Tanaka. Now here's Isaiah Fudge. Fudge today, 1 for 2, a single and a ground out, a sacrifice fly and a walk with a run scored. First pitch misses outside. We were discussing some final scores. Obviously, earlier today, Portland took down Marion 6-3. Port Angeles took down Kamloops 12-5. Final in Walla Walla. The score is 10-7 Sweets, as now Tanaka asked to have a chat with Ramos, trying to discuss the signs as to what pitches are going to be thrown. Some other scores from around the league. Bellingham doing their patriotic duty and beating Nanaimo 11-3 right now. Least they can do for having to spend the 4th of July in Canada. Corvallis currently leads the Springfield Drifters 15-5. The Knights lead it by 10 in the top of the 7th. Wenatchee on top of Edmonton big 9-1. So the same score as this contest, 9-1. Bend leads it. This is the final game of the first half for the Elks. Second game of the second half for the Pippins. 1-0, a changeup missing arm side to the left-handed bat Isaiah Fudge. 2 balls, no strikes. Tomorrow for the Sunday, all sorts of start times in the West Coast League. Bellingham at Nanaimo is a 1:05 start so that the Bells can get back on the ferry and back to the States. 2-0 breaking ball downstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. Kamloops at Port Angeles, a 1:35 start after a 2:50 start today. 3 5:05 games. This one here at Vince Genna Stadium, 1 over at Goss, Springfield, and Corvallis, and 1 in Salem between the Pickles and the Berries. As that pitch catches the top of the zone, it's 3-1. A 5:35 start in Wenatchee for Edmonton at Wenatchee, and then 2 6:05 starts on the 5th of July. 3-1 misses way inside, nearly got Fudge. It's ball 4. Victoria at Kelowna will win or will be up at 6:05. Ridgefield at Walla Walla is at 6:05 as well. Fireworks over to our right. I can see them through the door. First pitch here to Whitcomb. 1 ball and no strikes. Whitcomb pinch hit back in the 7th inning, hit into a sacrifice fly that scored a run. 1-0 popped out of play over on the left side, heads up in general admission. Right into the tree to make it 1-1. "9:25 p.m. We were told that the fireworks show on the Butte starts at 10, but they also won't let anybody on the field until both teams have cleared. 1-1 misses down and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. So the Pippins kind of playing spoiler a little bit, extending this game. We'll see how long it takes to clear the field after this one's done, whenever it is done. 2-1 misses outside, 3-1. So Hound was missing a lot arm side in his first couple of batters, and now missing glove side, which to this left-handed stick is the outside part of the plate. Nobody up and throwing in the Pippins pen. This is Tanaka's last couple outs to get. He misses inside ball 4, back-to-back walks. That'll bring up Nate Snakenborg, the catcher. If you're Coach Crustangel, you really don't want to have to use another arm. Sebastian Fry went 2/3 of an inning, giving up 2 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned on 4 walks and no strikeouts. Tanaka came into the 7th, got the last out after a walk, and now he misses outside with his first pitch to Snakenborg. Looks like we'll have a pinch hitter on deck. Deuce Sims has grabbed a bat and is in the on-deck circle for the Elks. 1-0, pitch misses outside, throw down to first. Levi didn't throw a tag down. He was behind the dish a little bit, or behind first base, rather. The count, 2 balls, no strikes. Last little glow of orange out on the horizon. Other than that, settling into a perfect sky for fireworks. 2-0 pitch, misses outside. 3-0. Hound in danger of walking the bases loaded with only one out after getting a ground out on the first pitch of the inning. 3-0, that one missed. So it is ball 4. There's an elk at every base. And here comes the pinch hitter, Deuce Sims. Unfortunately, the deuce for the jerseys, Eli Pupo, is on deck wearing that number 2, so Sims can't wear his first namesake. A couple of members of the Pippins pitching staff heading down to the bullpen just in case Hound can't find 2 outs in quick succession here. The first pitch, a strike on a slider, 0-1 on the outer part of the plate. I think Jackson Upton was the one that went out to start throwing. 0-1. The slider pulls Ramos into the right-hand batter's box. Kind of interesting to see a left-handed pinch hitter come in here with a left-handed arm. But that was the move made by Alan Cox. 1-1. This slider misses outside. 2-1. Man at third is Fudge. Second, Whitcomb. First, Snakenborg. 2-1. Plunked Sims. Hit by pitch brings home a run. Make it now 10-1 Bend. Eli Pupo will hit now with the bases loaded and only 1 out. They're going to pinch run for Sims, it looks like. Over at first is Kevin Veruda, an uncommitted junior. So Sims comes in, gets plunked, and exits. Efficient night at the ballpark for Deuce Sims. Swing and a foul back by Eli Pupo to make the count 0-1. Pippins have 5, 6, and 7 due up in the 9th inning as the slider crosses the plate for strike 2 from Hound Tanaka. Oh, 2 misses outside. The count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramos has had to work behind the dish with the sidewinding Hound Tanaka out there on the hill, especially with all these left-handed bats that have been coming up. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 run already home. The 1-2 pitch misses upstairs to make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. I don't see a cloud in the sky as the darkness starts to encapsulate Bend, Oregon, and more explosives enter the air. 2-2, a wave, and a foul ball at the dish. Count still 2-2. Tanaka nods his approval from Ramos. Bases loaded. 2-2 pitch on the ground over towards first. Sotomayor going to go to the plate. They're going to maybe get the force out. No. Ramos pulled off the bag by the throw. Sotomayor was standing a foot away from the bag. Probably could have just stepped on it and got the sure out and then tried for the plate. So now it's 11-1. Pupo reaches. Everybody's safe. And now Coach Crustangel heads out to the hill to make a pitching change. That's one that Levi will probably look back on tonight and say, I should have just went and stepped on first base and gotten an out. We'll get you a new pitcher when we come back here on the 4th of July. Pips trail by 10 here in Bend. New pitcher into the game for the Yakima Valley Pippins is number 51, Jackson Upton, usually a catcher. Got an appearance during the non-leagues as a pitcher, 7-1. That would be July 1. 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 3 strikeouts for Upton. Runners retake their places out at the base paths. Nate Snakenborg's at third. It's Ferruta at second and Eli Pupo at first after the fielder's choice is the official ruling on that play. Sotomayor went home trying to cut down the run. There was a force play, but he pulled Ramos off of the plate. Now the first pitch from Upton misses upstairs, 1-0. Again, the Pippins will have 5, 6, and 7 due up in the 9th inning here in a 10-run contest. 1-0 misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Part of the reason Upton likely getting the nod here, A, he's got some pitching experience with the Night Owls. B, a 3-inning performance against Northwest Star, giving up only 1 hit and striking out 3, might earn you some favors in the dugout if you can throw strikes. So far, it's 2-0. Here's the pitch. There's his first strike right on the outer block. Upton not going to throw overly hard here to Keaton Nato. But as long as he's in the zone, I think Coach Crustangel and Coach Salsa are going to be satisfied. 2-1. Downstairs, 3 balls and a strike. Closer and closer to the big fireworks show they claim up on the butte. 3-1. Downstairs, ball 4. A run will come home. Charge to Hound Tanaka. Jace Miller will hit next. He is the 8th man to hit in this 8th inning. Upton just trying to find 2 outs here. Here's a fly ball out towards right. Garcia coming in. This ball dying. This ball dropping. Garcia picks it up with a bare hand. Throw coming all the way to the plate. There's a force play there with the ball dropping. And out at the plate will be Ferruta. Strong arm of Luis Garcia cuts down a run. And so there's 2 outs now. So it's 12-1 still. Miller gets the single, but not the RBI. First pitch to Isaac Pfeiffer, called a strike. 9th man to hit here in the 8th. Score at 9-2 at the plate. Ferruta waited to make sure that that ball wasn't caught. So he becomes out number 2. Everybody else moves up 1 station. Ground ball back up the middle. Daichi stops it on the infield. Can't keep it in the glove. A run's going to score. Crossing the plate, Eli Pupo. Moving up to third, Nato. Moving up to second, Miller. That going to be likely an error on Furuhata, and the Elks have batted around back-to-back innings. 12 runs now on 11 hits for Bend. See what the scoring is. First pitch, flied out of play, foul. 0-1 to Rowan O'Connor. (13-1) the score. Still waiting on the official ruling. Second pitch misses out of play. What am I even saying tonight? My apologies, folks. 1 ball and 1 strike. Upton looking for a 3rd out in this inning. Foul ball into the netting, 1-2. Two outs, a 1-2 count. Still waiting on the official scoring. One, two, flown out to center. O'Neill drifting, O'Neill catching, and the inning is over. We go to the 9th inning, 13-1. Another 4 spot put up by the Elks. Clean. Well, there was only one night game a year. On the 4th of July, the whole sky would brighten up with fireworks, giving just enough light for a game. Played our best then because I felt we all felt like big leaguers under the lights of some great stadium. Might not be playing like big leaguers tonight if you're the Pippins, trailing 13-1. But the definite smell of the fireworks and their smoke is encompassing the ballpark here at Vince Genna Stadium. New pitcher into the game for the Bend Elks to try to mop up this 13-1 victory they have is Carter Hess. He wears number 15. This comes after Peronis went 3 perfect innings, and Jackson pitched a perfect inning himself. First pitch upstairs, ball 1 from Hess. It's a pinch hitter for Yakima Valley instead of Jay O'Neill. It is Levi Correa. It appears we'll have another pinch hitter on deck for Luis Garcia. High and tight, 2 balls, no strikes. Looks like Brandon Stone has grabbed a bat. Yakima Valley going to empty the bench here in a 13-1 contest. Correa has the tower buzzed again, 3-0. We're about 15 minutes from that big fireworks show that Aiden O'Neill, the Bend Elks broadcaster, was telling me about. So we're probably going to see the start of it as we exit the ballpark tonight. Hopefully the people don't trample us as we try to leave. 3-0 swinging. Correa grounds it on over to Miller at first. Covering the bag is the pitcher, Hess. And of course he wins the race tonight. 1 away here in the ninth. Brings up Brandon Stone. Stone got some action in the non-league contests earlier this week. Now getting his second regular season appearance. Luis Garcia ends his night 0 for 1 with 2 walks drawn. First pitch he sees is a called strike right on the outer black. Might have a third pinch hitter. In fact, we will in the on-deck circle for Yakima Valley. As the 0-1 pitch comes in on the outer black again, 0-2. Levi Sotomayor is a lefty. There's a righty up in the on-deck circle. Looks like Jackson Walker will pinch hit here in the ninth as well. 0-2 to Stone. Ground ball over towards third. This is a fair ball. Backing up the new third baseman. This is Ferruta. He'll send it across. And in time for out number 2. So Jackson Walker will be the last man standing for Yakima Valley. If he could reach, Trey Godoy would get a pinch hit at bat. Wave and miss by J-Dub. So Sotomayor ends his night 0 for 2 with a run scored, the only run for Yakima Valley tonight. Hess takes a deep breath. The 0-1. Walker down the right field line. This is foul. And the Pippins are down to their final strike. Well, the 4th of July has not gone the way that Yakima Valley wanted it to. A strike away from falling 13-1. Hess trying to deliver here with about 10 minutes to spare before the fireworks show up on the butte. The 0-2 pitch, wave and a miss. Walker down on strikes, and the contest is over. The Pippins are set down in order over the final 5 frames, and the Bend Elks even the series, taking game 2 13-1. The winning pitcher tonight will be Peronis. The losing pitcher will be Jake Cumming. There is no save tonight. We finish at 9:48 p.m., a total game time of 3 hours and 12 minutes. In front of 1,570 folks, the Pippins fall 13-1. We'll talk to you tomorrow for a 5:05 p.m. first pitch. Happy Independence Day, everybody, for everyone involved with the Yakima Valley Pippins. My name's Harmon Johnsen, signing off for now, saying stay safe. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow for a 5 o'clock first pitch. Final score again tonight, 13-1. Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. God bless.